little bit before when I was trying to connect.
Yeah, man.
About to go on live.
We're going live. We're live now.
How we doing, fam?
What's up? What's up? We got a treat for everybody tonight. We're sitting down with none other than the OG Johnny Dunn in the building. Oh my goodness. By the end of this video, you're going to discover a little bit of history when it comes to Mr. Johnny Dunn. So super excited. Johnny, talk to us, man. How was your New Year's?
Let's go. I appreciate you guys for having me on. My New Year's was great. I mean, didn't really do too much with everything going on. I just wanted to stay low key, you know, wanted to stay safe, stay inside, get my sleep up, and just excited for the new year with Veve and NFT space in general. Didn't really do too much, you know, just hung in there. How about you guys?
Yeah, man, you know, I've got little ones at the house, so none of this craziness like back in the days. I used to go to the club for New Year's and do all this crazy, you know, stand on my head, whatever. But those days are long over, man. I watched the movie 10 minutes before the ball dropped. I paused it, went and watched the ball drop, whatever, did that thing, went back to the movie, went to by 12:30. I was KO. That was it. It was a wrap.
Smart move.
Yeah, man. I did the Johnny move, man. I just kept it simple. Like I say, man, I just try to stay out the way.
Right. That's what you got to do, man, these days.
Well, I'm in New York too, so it's like between the guns going off, it's too much for me, man. I'm just, you know, I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm trying to make it to next year, you know, see what happens along the way, see some investments grow, you know. Can I do that?
Man, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy because you know, I've heard the horror stories of people, you know, on New Year's getting hurt and stuff, you know, and it's you reach a point where you're like, man, I don't even want to risk it.
Exactly.
You know. Okay, that tweet just went out right now. So okay, everybody, we're gonna go ahead and get started here in another 2 minutes. We're just waiting for YouTube to do its thing, let the notifications go out. Twitter is you know, we're trying to attack Twitter right now.
Yeah.
And let me drop a link in this real quick.
Yo, what's crazy about New Year's though is like I never even understood this as a kid. I used to ask my parents like, yo, because you know I see Times Square and the whole area like when it's not New Year's, and I'd be there sometimes like before they set up and stuff, and you see how far off they corn off the crowd, and then when you see it on TV, you see all those millions of people crammed into that one area. You're like, if you're the person in the front, like if you got to use the bathroom, how do you make that happen? You know, and it's like, you just, I'm like, you just what? Like what, you got to doing a pamper? What are we doing here? Like it's a lot of untold, you know, New Year's Eve stories, man. It's a lot of untold stuff going on out here, man.
Man, I'm telling you, bro, I'm not with it. I've never gone. I lived in New York for a long time, and I never went to New Year's during that, you know, craziness.
Yeah.
You know, I never went to Times Square. So
I grew up in them, you know, you too, man, grew up in those the original New York days, you know, of pickpockets and, you know, 3-car Molly on the street.
Oh yeah.
The old New York. The real you know, it doesn't sleep New York. You know?
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Always better to be safe these days, so you know, stay inside and don't even mess with it, you know?
Absolutely. Okay. So did we Strange?
Yeah,
did you get
we good. Yep.
We're good. Okay.
I retweeted it.
All right. Awesome.
Even a nice repost.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. As I mentioned earlier, by the end of this video, we're gonna discover who is Johnny Dunn. I mean, we know, you know, YouTuber and all that, but we want to know, you know, from when you were a little kid, growing up, your whole family history. We want to know everything. We want to know what your blood type is by the end of this video.
Let's dive deep. Let's do it.
Let's dive deep for sure. Okay. All right. So, and by the way, link is in the chat. It's pinned on top. It's a link to Johnny Dunn's YouTube channel. So for whatever reason you're not subbed, it's pinned right there. Go sub, hurry back, because you're probably gonna miss some hotness, some juiciness, some craziness. So hurry back. So all right. So we're gonna jump it off. I always like to start off the interview with, where were your grandparents born?
Let's take it way back. So believe it or not, you guys are all going to be surprised by this. So on my dad's side of the family, my dad's whole family was actually born and raised in Jamaica, believe it or not. So yeah, right in Jamaica. So my dad actually moved to the United States when he was about 14 years old, and his whole entire family moved to Woodbury, New Jersey. So not exactly where I live right now in New Jersey, but he also had some other family that was in New Jersey. So that's kind of where he came from. And it's a funny story because he never felt being cold in his entire life until he came to the Philly airport here and it was snowing. It's the first time he ever felt being cold, and he was like, this shit sucks. like he never felt it before. So just hearing stories like that blew my mind, because growing up, I was like, what do you mean you never felt being cold, Dad? Like being in Jersey, it's just something that we've taken for granted. And so his whole family came to the United States when he was about 14, 15. He was early in high school. And he said nobody could understand him because he had a thick Jamaican accent. And he still has it a little bit. Like, I always try to tell him, like, bring it out of him, because I love hearing it. But it really only comes out when he's on the phone, like talking to his relatives. I can't really bring it out. Just over time, it's kind of gone away a little bit. And so that's always like an interesting story. Nobody ever expects that from me. And then on my mom's side, she was actually, her parents were, I believe, I'm not sure where they were born, to be honest, but they all grew up in New Jersey, almost around the same area where I live right now. That's where my mom's parents grew up. So I don't know exactly where they were from, but around the same area is where I live. Like, my mom went to the same high school I went to. So
oh my God,
it was crazy.
That is funny.
It's like my mom was same place where I've been, but my dad, on the other hand, came from a whole different country. So I got a little bit of mixed, like all over the place.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very interesting. Very interesting. I love it. What? I lived in Philly for a little bit, as I mentioned, so I'm a little familiar with that area. It wasn't too long. So all right, so that's your all right. So we got the history. Your parents, you obviously are in Jersey.
Yep, I'm still right here. I still live at my parents' house right now. I live kind of right near Rowan University. It's a college down in South Jersey, and that's where I went to college, and I live right next to it. But
very cool, very cool.
South Jersey. It's about 20 minutes from Philadelphia. So
going with that, I know I had earlier when we spoke, I said, man, I got to ask you. And I said, don't tell me now. Don't tell me now. But we're saving for the stream. Are you a Geno's or are you Pat's guy?
Right. Okay. So you know what? I feel like for me, I mean, I like them both. You can't go wrong with both.
Okay.
I would say I'm kind of more of a Geno's kind of guy, to be honest.
Really?
I feel like there's other places though in Philly that are kind of like low key,
low key spots.
Yeah, I feel like they can almost be better than like your name brand.
Not the name brand, but it's one that's on like a corner. It's in the hood though. You got to go to the hood.
Sometimes, man, they have the best spots. Like, I don't know exactly the name places, but I've been to some places and I'm like, wow, this might be better than like the Pats or like the Geno's. Like,
exactly.
Sometimes there's some like low key spots in there.
I and you're right, because I lived there I had friends over there, so I was there a lot.
Okay.
But I actually lived there for like a year and change.
So what's your opinion?
Oh man. Well, okay. So the thing is, we would go and test out. Like, man, I can't even tell you how many different places I went to. But what we needed to do was get cheesesteak sandwiches from all of the spots and eat them like at once. We was always like, like take a bite. That was something, I needed to do. But okay, so just going with that, I really like Pat's, man.
Yeah, Pat's is good.
Don't get me wrong.
Pat's is solid. Pat's is solid. You can't. I mean, to be honest, I like them both. I do. I could eat both of them anytime. I'll kind of lean Geno's though, just personal opinion.
You know
But
what?
you live there longer. Maybe you have a little better taste than I do.
No, oh, man, this is eons ago, man. This is so long ago, but you know what? I need to go back, I need to go back and try it. Okay, try it again. Okay, so you did mention though that you had some collectibles. I don't want to get too far along and we forget, and I want to see what are we working with? What you're going to surprise us. So we're all going to Strange. Get ready for this. What do you have?
For the cards you're saying?
Yeah.
All right, so you don't mean the Veve, right? You mean the cards?
No, the physical. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pokemon or not, but I'll show you my Pokemon cards and the sports cards.
Okay, so, you know what? Is it a lot of them?
It's a decent amount.
Spread it out.
It's a decent amount.
We'll spread it out as we go through the questions.
Yeah, we'll spread it out.
So here's some Pokemon cards. We got a couple Pikachus. We got a little Raikou. I feel like we need Randy CHAVEZ to determine, how good these are.
I know he'll be here like, okay, yeah, you know what? Let's make a deal.
Those are probably some of my best ones. So let me just jump into some of the sports real quick.
Okay.
I got a Sports Illustrated Allen Iverson.
Ooh, AI. That's what's up.
Pretty solid one. I got a Sports Illustrated Tiger Woods. That's my favorite one.
Ooh.
I'll take you back to like the days when I started growing up as a kid. Golf, I grew up meant to playing golf. Like it was the craziest thing, honestly, my parents have ever seen. Like I was 2 years old and I started playing golf.
Wow.
Like we can go into this story, but let me show you a couple of these cards. Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, wow.
So another one, here's Shaq and Barry Bonds, Sports Illustrated ones. These are some of the ones I like a lot.
Oh man, nice.
Just some like old school, some of my favorite players, No, and then these are my two last favorites.
Jordan.
We got Jordan on the Wizards and then Jordan on the Bulls. Sports Illustrated. I need to get them graded. I don't know how much they're worth, but I feel like the one on the Bulls could be a decent amount.
I mean, anything Jordan, man. Anything
right.
Jordan's gonna, there's a demand for it.
And then Tony Hawk and Wayne Gretzky. I think they're pretty decent too.
For sure, man.
Pretty decent.
Love it, man.
Well, something, not too crazy, but
no, man. I mean, it's iconic. These are iconic games. These are history, and that's why I like collecting. It's because of the emotional tie that that there is with the collectible. That's what I really like.
Right.
So so obviously I see some cards there. So what was the first thing you collected when you were a kid?
Wow. So bringing it back to the cards and everything, it was the Pokemon cards. It was I wasn't really collecting it. I think I was honestly collecting them at the time just because all my friends were collecting the Pokemon cards. I wasn't really super into them. But my mom found my Pokemon cards last year when all the whole Pokemon buzz was going all crazy, everybody. It dawned on me. I was like, wait, I still have my Pokemon cards. That thing. So let me check this. Like, this could be some money here. So I remember my mom saves everything I ever did. So I was like, Mom, do you still have these Pokemon cards? And she found them, and I was looking through them, and I found out people were telling me like, yeah, you got like a couple $1,000s here. And I was like, all right, cool. Like I got to sell them. So I went to try to sell them, and because I needed the money at the time, and I was like, if I could make $2-3 grand right now, it'd be great. But then I figured out you have to mail them off to PSA. That takes like 6 to 12 months, and I felt stuck. I was like, dang, okay. But I was also trying to figure out what NFTs were all beginning of the year, because Gary Vee, I heard him talk about all 2020 NFTs, and I was like, I don't understand it. I didn't understand NBA Top Shot, how LeBron James video clip was selling for thousands. I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. So also in the same time, I come from that mainstream world. That's why if Veve's done this to me, I know it's going to do it to everybody, because I was one of those people who didn't get it. But I think it was me researching the NFTs and then the Pokemon cards, the like all the search history in there led me to finding the Alcon Ikomi Pokemon YouTube video. And when I found that, I was just like, what is this? I'm watching it. And he talked about how like digital collecting, how you can just like sell it instantly. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it.
Yeah. He's like, this solves the
problem. I had the aha
now.
moment. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. So I start freaking out. Yeah. One thing I wish I kind of regret doing or not doing was just vlogging all of my actions from March 1st to like the March 22nd. Because I was like pacing behind my house. Like I didn't leave my house, just researching crypto, Ikomi, who David and Dan were, Veve, NFTs. Like I was going insane because it just felt red hot, and I had to learn so much. It was a crazy time back then.
No, for sure, man. It's like drinking from a fire hose, man. It's no joke. It's no joke. I'm just, you know, a few months in myself. Strange has put me on, and you know, I'm eternally grateful to Strange for, you know, putting me on to this whole thing and educating me.
You know, one tidbit I gotta let you know is Johnny also deserves some credit too. I don't think I ever told you this.
For what?
But one thing I picked up, all right, so I got the whole, you know, the initial stuff from VV Vault, you know, monitor your phone, optimize, make sure you put yourself in the best position. But when I started, because I used to like, I'm always a fly on the wall. I'm the type, I'll be subscribed to you for like a month and won't even say anything. I'll just watch your video and I won't even say anything. So like, I used to come on, like, what's weird is like, I'm a night owl. And I could never find anybody on doing anything with Veve. It would just be dead. And then sometimes I would catch you on late. I'm like, who is this guy on mad late? Like up when I'm up talking about Veve, yo. So I used to tap in. Then I kind of fell off for a little bit as far as like on a late night. But what I was doing was I was noticing like sometimes you would be on the same time as Veve Ball. So once in a while, I'm like, oh, let me see what's up with this dude. So I pop in. And then one thing I picked up on the timing was like, I noticed you were like only person that really showed people your timing.
Right.
And when I got to see that visually, it's one thing for someone to be like, oh, press it 1 second after 0. It's like, you do that without any guidance. You're sitting here like after the buy appears, you're going like 1, you know, like, no, you're not. That's what Joe was doing at first. So I had to kind of refine it in my own, you know. So once I saw you visually counting, saying it out loud, then tapping it, I was like, oh, it's like a rhythm. You know, I have my own rhythm. Like some people will go 3, 2, 1, 0. You know, I can't do that. Like I have my own little thing, but it's still a point that it instills the concept of like you still have to use some sort of timing and rhythm, and it's all these things involved. So I kind of just melded it all down. And then, you know, pass it on to my guys, you know, pass some links to your channel, all the guys' channel. Awesome. And that's how I just bring people in, man. I try to make it easy for them. And you guys make that easy for us to do.
Wow, I appreciate that, man. I didn't even realize that. So that's awesome, man, to hear it too. Like, I didn't even realize I had a big impact like that. And that's awesome that you also kind of took what I was doing and kind of just molded it in a way that worked for you. Like, I know someone else too. NFT Jeremy, he's another YouTuber out there, and he said he kind of did the same thing. He started listening to like a music song that had like the same beats per minute or something, and so that helped him tremendously. And I was like, wow. So, and it's crazy because I didn't even realize the timing mechanism was like a different technique than what people were doing until I started watching like VV Vault and some other people doing the live streams that were spamming it, and I was like, wow, okay, what I'm doing is this is completely different than what I'm doing. So maybe I should just stream what I'm doing, and maybe people, you know, So,
and it's interesting too because you know, spamming was my thing. You know, I was very successful with that for a while, and I don't know if it was like one of those updates or whatever it was, but it was like out of nowhere, my button was like just getting stuck there. And then I was like, nah, I have to figure something else out, bro. I can't be sacrificing these drops, especially with this. So, yeah, man, it took a while to get the timing down. Thank God they made that that little application that we got out there to help us out. You know,
yeah, Nexus made that, right? Nexus and It's Wonderful. He made that like practice thing where you could practice it. I didn't really do that, but that's an awesome thing for people to actually do it because I'm sure it helps.
It is, man. It is. I like to use it right before the drop to kind of, you know,
get that muscle memory.
That's right.
That's actually a great idea. I should start doing that.
Yeah,
I've been striking out on the drops too.
Because what's crazy is today was extremely frustrating because I know my timing was on point. I know you thought that you were late, but even when you showed the replay right away, I was like, nah, you weren't that late, bro. Like
I felt like I was better than I have been recently, but maybe just this tad late. It's crazy. Everybody said today was strange, right? Like
it definitely was. And then, like you said, like I've been a little iffy on the last comic drops because I've been pressing like early, a little half a second. And you know, it's a wrap if you do that.
I'm so scared to do it early.
It makes you right. So then it makes you want to tend to press a little on the later side the next chance you get. And that's where practicing right before the drop kind of realigns you again to where you're not just like, oh, the last time I tried this was last week and I failed. You know, you kind of build up a like
It's like
confidence.
sports. It's honestly just, I was kind of joking with it at first. I was like, it's like 2-a-days. I should, but like, it honestly, it really is like golf, for example. When I'm not out there practicing like at least daily, most of the time, a couple of times a day, and I go try to play a round of golf, I am rusty and I'm terrible. But that muscle memory's not there. But when I'm out there practicing and then I go play, boom, I feel so much
right
better.
into it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, this is the second time you bring up golf. Let's talk about golf. How, you know, you said 2 years old.
Yeah, man, I love talking about golf. So it honestly, everything has come full circle in my life to where finding like this whole Veve thing has been to me like God, like the higher power is just aligning me with the universe. So I came out the womb playing golf. I started playing golf in the house at 2 years old. My dad got me like little tiny golf clubs and I just started watching golf. I started watching golf with my dad, like the PGA Tour players, and I would just start hitting plastic golf balls in the house. That's how it started. We put mats up in the house in the hallways and I would hit plastic golf balls in the house. My dad's like, what is this kid doing? Like, holy cow. Then we start going to like actual like outside. I remember being out in the backyard. I started eventually growing out of that because I'll be hitting my neighbor's house with the golf balls. We would start going to like the schoolyard. And then I would get too big to go to like, because my elementary school had like a big like yard basically, probably about like 100-yard length. But then I started hitting too far, started hitting the houses across the street. So then we got to go to the golf course at 3-4 years old. So we start going to real golf course. And so here's the crazy story. This is wild. So we go to a par 3 golf course. I'm 4 years old. I show up with my dad and they wouldn't let us play. The guy's like, your son can't play. He's going to hold up people on the golf course. Like he's 4 years old. My dad looked at him like, no, you're going to let my son play. Like there's people on this golf course that are going to hold up my son. Wow. The guy's like, get out of here. Like that. No, like just, my dad's like, watch him. And I was on the putting green and the guy's watching me sink putts. And so he was like, okay, I'm calling the news. So he called Channel 6 News. Wait, and what? So the news came, right? And so Channel 6 Action News came and I started like freaking out because as soon as they started watching me play, I stopped playing. I was like, I'm not playing. They're watching me, Dad. My dad's like, no, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep playing. And eventually he had to like kind of lie to me, say like, they're just trying to play through you. And they start filming me. And I still have the videotape to this day. It's on VHS. It's so old. Yeah. I got to show a clip. I got to show a clip of it probably and tweet it out to the Veve fam. But I was 4 years old on Channel 6 News playing on like actual golf courses. And then I started playing in golf tournaments when I was 7, 8, 9, 10. And then at 11 years old, I won every golf tournament I played too. Like I came in first place.
Yo, stop playing for real?
Johnny Woods.
Yeah. And then, but see, here's the thing. When you're that young and playing golf, none of your friends are playing golf. You're winning golf tournaments and getting a free hot dog and a plaque. And then that's it. And your friends are like, all right, come play baseball. And so at a young age, I'm winning golf tournaments. I'm like the man in golf, but no one knows. And so I was like, this sport sucks. I really didn't like it. So at 11 years old, I quit golf to go play baseball. What? Hardest decision of my life. It was a fork in the road moment. And I'll talk about another fork in the road moment. I've only had 2 in my life. That was the first fork in the road moment that I had. I quit golf at 11 to play golf or to play baseball. It's in the same season. So in high school, I chose baseball. Small town. I was like the man in baseball too. And that's why I loved it because I got all the attention back then. I was like the man, but I quit golf. So it was like, I could be the best at golf or the best at baseball. I knew at that moment, I felt like odds are going pro at baseball, not as high. I felt like I could have easily went pro in golf by the age of 18. But in high school, I was not your hardworking kid. In high school, I was a completely different kid. I was your partier. I was that type of kid. It took college. College was my life lesson in life. So in high school, I played baseball. I didn't play golf. I went to Rowan University to play baseball, pretty solid D3 program. I got cut from the team my freshman year. And so that was the first time I got punched in the face. This is like one of the best kids in high school, goes to college and gets cut. I didn't work. I was just like, I'm just going to rely on my talent. And I did terrible. And so I got cut. I was the only kid, or not the only kid. I was put on a freshman like baseball team, basically. It was like not the varsity. It's not the college baseball team. And so that right there was the punch in my face to where I was like, am I just going to quit baseball? But I was like, no, I came here to play baseball. This is what I want to do. So it was a flip of a switch in my brain. I was like, I'm gonna come back here next year, and it's gonna be a laughing joke if I like that I wasn't on the team. And so I came back and literally dominated and ended up being a huge part of the program. Went on to be a big part of the team, end up like being the starting pitcher, won an NJAC championship for the team. I still wanted to play baseball after college. I just never got an opportunity. And so that was the moment though. Like it all came full circle because the same coach who cut me my freshman year started me as the starting pitcher in the most important game of the college my last year there. So not my last year there, but the last year he was there. I was like a junior, I think, in college. And I won. So it was a crazy moment. I still have the YouTube video. If you scroll all the way down on my channel, it's like, it has the highlights of that game and everything. And it was a crazy moment because we talked after the game. I got interviewed with the coach and everything. And like looking back at it, that was the flip of the switch. It lit a fire that never got put out because everything that I learned, I never like believed in the hard work. But like for the first time in my life, I saw it actually happen. I saw it with my own eyes. I put the work in every single day and I got literally so much better. I was like, it was like, I just believed in it at that point. So I'm just transferring everything I learned in my college careers into golf today because I'm trying to get my golf game back. That's why I've been going hard on golf because I think I can get it back. I always thought I'd be like the Johnny Manziel of PGA Tour. If I went to the PGA Tour in high school, I was not mentally ready for that yet. I would have been the person who's in the league at 18 and out by 20. You know, so I had to go through that to really learn all the lessons to make it. I probably last until I'm like 50 years old in PGA Tour now. So that's how I see it.
Dude,
Right.
That's crazy.
It's wild, man.
Wild.
I was born
man.
to play golf.
What the heck? So I mean, so you're playing golf daily?
Yeah, I mean, right now in Jersey, it's like snow. It's the last couple of days I haven't played golf, but yeah, man. I mean, before March 1st last year, I was golfing 3 times a day, early in the morning, sometime in the evening, and then at night. And then I found Veve March 1st. I didn't go outside or pick up a golf club until end of the March. That's how much I had just had to dive right in to learning all of this. And then golf got put on the back end of everything because I just dove into Veve all year. Yeah. But golf's something I'm going to pick up and not pick up, but like really try to do something with golf for the rest of my life.
Yo, I mean, obviously 2 years old, you were killing it. And look, you know, winning tournaments and everything. So
yeah, man.
It's there, bro. It's there.
Yeah. And I just had to learn what I had to learn in college baseball. Like I know, like I have full belief in myself. If I just keep working at it for the next couple of years, I'm going to be where I need to be. So like my whole motto is all about like never giving up. Like that's why I made all this music. I don't know if you guys ever knew, but like I made music too. And it's all like motivational music. I was making it for myself really, just to, you know, it helped me like stay motivated and everything. And then some people liked it, some people didn't, but like it grew its own following just because the people that vibed with it rocked with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely watched a couple videos.
Let's go.
That's it, man. Let's go.
I like to support, right? I like to support the little guys like me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, I mean, look, you know, the thing is, there's a lot of talent out there, and it's unknown. People don't know, and the talent is better than the people that are famous. You know,
right?
And it's just crazy to me. And by the way,
so you trying to say, right? So you trying to say. Are you trying to get a cipher with me, you, Johnny, and Non-Fungible Wonderful? That's what
let's go.
That's right.
Let's go. Shout out to Non-Fungible.
Yo, Non-Fungible Wonderful is in the chat right now. He's in the building.
Let's go, Pineapple Gang. Yo, wait till you guys hear his album. It's you guys are gonna. It's honestly like I listen to it all the time. Obviously, I listen to the songs that I'm on too, but like the whole album is when you listen to the intro. You're gonna be in the veveverse. Like it's unbelievable.
Ooh, yeah, let's do it. I saw him rhyming with the postman, doing all types of crazy.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. My brother's an actual postman too. Like he's actual letter carrier, I guess the technical word is. But yeah, he's a mailman. So I showed him the song too. He was loving it. He was like, "What?"
I was dying. I was like, "Yeah, man, yo, Non-Fungible Wonderful in the building. What up, man? You know, I gotta lock you in. We try to lock in an interview, but we had some stuff come up. But we're gonna lock him in soon. Wendy STIBALIS, she's also in the building. What's up?
Wendy? Got the team VO and let's go.
Let's go. So everybody in the chat, please drop a like. I've got if for whatever reason you're not subbed to Johnny Dunn, please. The link is pinned in the description, in the chat, should I say. So this is crazy. You know, multi-talented Johnny Dunn is what we should call him now. And so, all right, so talk to me. Obviously we saw the cards, okay? We know you're like a golf prodigy and whatnot. So do you have, there we go.
There we go.
Got another physical collectible coming at it.
Gotta have the Todd. And I have one more actually coming. I want to give a shout out to Dan Schauble too, because there's a comic book that, like, I don't have many comic books, right? I was never really a physical collector of anything. Really, I got that Todd McFarlane Batman only just because of Veve. In the early days, I wanted to get one physical like representation just to kind of remind me of just Veve, and that was the Todd McFarlane Batman right there. And when that came in, I got addicted to the physical collectibles. I have an like addicting personality. Like, I've become obsessive with things I love. It's a blessing and a curse, but you know, I feel like some of the greatest people in the world have that same blessing, and it's a blessing and a curse, really. You can dive all the way into things, but you got to make sure it's the right things.
Right. No, yeah, you're right. You're right.
So the physical, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to go into a question, and then I said, oh, you know, let's see a physical.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So that was the Todd. That was the Todd. So, okay. So what was the first physical collectible you owned as a kid, if you remember?
Yeah. Okay. So this is actually a good question. It might have been either a Batman figurine. I should have brought him out for this little live stream. Dang, I should have brought him out. All right. So it could have been either like Batman figurines, or also it probably was this before them. Like those Hot Wheel Matchbox cars and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I still have a ton of those, but they're not in good condition. I think they're actually worth a good amount if you have them in like great condition, but they're not in good condition. They're all messed up. I used to play with them all the time.
No,
I love that kind of stuff. Probably Legos too. I was a huge Lego person.
Yeah.
Just like making stuff like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So okay, so Legos. You had Legos, and you had the first, though, you said,
I would say Matchbox cars, like those Hot Wheel cars, that like the little tiny ones, or it could have been Batman figurines, because I have a whole, not like statues though, but like little like toy Batman things. And that's why when I saw Veve in the Batman, I was like, oh my gosh.
You're like locked up.
Yeah, like instantly.
It was a wrap. So all right, so speaking about, you mentioned Batman and whatnot. So when you were growing up, what kind of cartoons did you like?
Oh, okay. So I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 93. Probably a little younger, you guys said, right? I'm a little younger than you guys. Born in 93. A lot of cartoons that I liked. This is one I was watching Veve and Wendy mentioned some. One was, for me, Hey Arnold. I don't know if anyone in the chat listened to Hey Arnold, or watched Hey Arnold. Hey Arnold was one of my favorites. I really liked Hey Arnold. Power Rangers was one too. I watched Power Rangers. I don't know if you would call the Simpsons cartoons. Would you call Simpsons cartoons?
Yeah,
actually, I was debating on if we call them the Power Rangers cartoons.
Oh yeah, it's more like movies, right? Like,
oh yeah, that's like a show. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I was just watching
Rocket Power. Did you just say Rocket Power? I'm not sure if you just said Rocket Power, but whatever you just said reminded me of Rocket Power. Rocket Power is a huge one. I used to watch Rocket Power big time.
I just seen a special on the first Black Power Ranger today. It was like an update on him and stuff, and he was talking about how like now the Power Rangers is, you know, blowing up again. He's been doing like nonstop Comic-Cons and this, that, and the third. He was saying how like Saban, that company that put that out, like they never got residual checks, and that's like the lifeblood of actors, is the residuals usually, you know. And he was like, it took years for him to actually get paid, you know what I'm saying? But it came from him having to do other stuff. And that was predicated on us making it relevant again, you know what I'm saying? But he was like a highly beloved Ranger. I guess, you know, his first Black Ranger, literally Black Ranger. But, you know, he was saying like he goes to like Thailand and Philippines, and he's like, you know, people will come up to him and talk to him. He don't know what they're saying, but he knows that they know him and they like him. He's like, yeah, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But that show was cool.
Dude, I don't know if you guys heard about one of the Power Rangers. He killed his roommate.
Yeah. Yes.
I did not know that.
It was one of the red ones. It was one of the red Rangers.
Yeah, he killed him, man. They got into an argument, and and he killed him with a sword.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man. They're crazy. So
take his job too. That's when you taking your job home with you too much.
Yeah, for real.
For real, man. He didn't hear cut. Like, what's the deal, bro?
You're stupid.
Man, okay.
Blanking out on some other cartoons though. I watched a fair amount of cartoons though.
Yeah.
What else you got? What else you thinking?
I was a 90s baby, so I felt like that I grew up watching cartoons like after elementary school and stuff like that.
Right.
What was your favorite? Like your number one?
Hey Arnold for sure. Hey Arnold was one of my favorites.
Okay,
you know why? Because I used to love his like room. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Hey Arnold and the chat, but it was like this like attic like. Yep. It was just cool. I always wanted something like that.
It was dope, though. I can't front. And I was hella old when that came out. I ain't gonna tell you how old you was born.
I know.
I still saw that. Man, I'll just say I was dealing with some females and they had babies at the time.
Oh. By the way, George Omega in the chat says it was the Red Ranger.
Yeah, I told you.
Wow.
Yeah, the Red Ranger. I knew that he was
football head himself, Arnold.
That was one of my favorites, man.
All right, so what about video games, man? What video games did you play?
Oh, video games was a big one, man. All right, so later on, I feel like in high school, I got addicted to like Madden on Madden. I used to play Madden online a lot. I got addicted to that for sure, man. I mean, that was a big one. I love Madden. But like going back further days, so growing up, I mean, I could play this game forever to this day still. N64, James Bond, 007 GoldenEye, Mario Kart. Those are like my favorite two games right there. I could play that like, oh my gosh, so many memories. Even in high school, I played that with my friends, man. Those games, even Mario Party was a great one. I used to play with my cousins all the time.
About Mario Kart.
Yeah, that's one I just said, Mario Kart and James Bond.
Mario Kart, yeah.
So those two, the Mario Kart, my favorite level, I even know the levels, like the one, the beach level, Mario Kart N64, the little shortcut. I get that every time to this day.
Yo, that's hilarious, man.
I
love the N64.
Yeah, that was dope, man.
I mean, yeah, it was dope, man.
How about you guys? What are some of your favorites?
Game they came out with? It was like Star Fox or Firefox. It was some game. It was like
a N64?
Yeah. It was like a fox, and he was like in space. It was like a spaceship.
Yeah, I mean that's Star Fox, but I still that.
There you go.
Yeah, you know what? It was N64. It was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
that was there because every system had like the game that you can't get nowhere else, and that was their game.
Exclusive game. Wow.
Yeah, that was dope. I personally, I mean, back then, I would have to say, I mean, when I was a kid, Zelda.
Okay.
Zelda, man,
that was a popular one.
Oh, bro.
When you held the cartridge, it was special. It was a gold cartridge, and it was heavy because they put a memory chip in it.
They had a memory chip in it. Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean,
those things lasted forever too.
Yeah, man. Oh man, good.
Super Nintendo was another one of my favorites. Super Nintendo, NBA Jam or College Slam, I think it's called. I forget what the exact name was. I used to play that.
You had a combo of those. You had Double Dribble. You had NBA Jam. You had
NBA Jam. I think that was it right there.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, is it the shoes? That was the joint.
Fast Eddie P's in the chat. What's up, brother? What's up, Cameron? What up? Look, everybody in the chat, please drop a like. And if for whatever reason you're not subbed to Johnny Dunn, a link to his YouTube channel is pinned in the chat. So we're talking, history. We're finding out he's like a golf prodigy and whatnot. So,
another thing, real quick, off the video games, I start playing. So like I would say like N64 growing up, high school, like Madden, PlayStation 2 was my thing. Big PlayStation 2 fan. That was like one of my favorite consoles. And then recently, I would say last couple of years, I got into I had a PlayStation 4. I was playing this golf game, PGA Tour, whatever the latest 2K game was, and I played it only really just to create golf courses. I was creating all these golf courses from scratch, and then also recreating hometown golf courses. And so I realized I was actually incredible. It's almost like Roller Coaster Tycoon. You know how you could create your own like theme park? Well, you could create your own golf course from scratch. And to me, I guess digging into my like creative bag, I absolutely loved it. And I was showing, so like I was pretty close to the people who own the Pittman golf course, the golf course in my town. And I recreated just from memory every single golf hole. And so then I put Pimment Golf Course in the video game. And so I showed them, and like they were absolutely blown away because now their golf course is in the video game forever. And so that got publicity. And then I was doing it for other golf courses like River Winds. Ron Jaworski, who's like a football player, he owns this golf course called River Winds. And it was one of my favorite golf courses. And then I recreated that one in the video game, showed them, and they were like blown away, got publicity. It was just cool to like, for me, my creative side, I love just creating all these courses from scratch and also replicating the ones I played in real life. So that was something I did recently.
That's super dope. And the fact, so other people can just go in and play it.
Yep. And it's always going to be there. Like, so I felt like my vision was I was going to go around to all these other golf courses that aren't in the game, but like local, and be like, yo, like to almost charge money to recreate their golf course to put it in the course. I never went through with that. I kind of just did it out of the love for the couple courses that I love playing, but that was kind of my idea I was going to go for, but I never actually.
No, I mean, shoot, that's super dope. Maybe in veveverse or meta, whatever.
Telling you.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Yeah.
Bro,
oh my gosh.
You might be giving golf lessons in the metaverse, brother.
Yo, for real.
Wow, that's gonna happen.
Bro, for real.
Wow.
You know,
I never even really thought about that. That's amazing.
I put you on the right path. You know what I'm saying? Stick with your boy. I got you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, seriously, what you guys just said. I mean, you guys know me. I'm thinking about the veveverse like constantly, right?
Yeah.
But I never really thought of bringing the golf courses in the veveverse, giving golf lessons in the Veve. I never really put that part in there.
Man, because it's all virtual, right? You could be there one-on-one, and you could have, all right, what course you want? I got a slew. What's up?
Baseball and golf lessons.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Let's
for all we know, the future we're moving into, we may not even be allowed to be on courses for a while. We just don't know. So virtual, you know, if it literally looks and feels like I'm out there, I mean, hey.
And they already have something similar like that. They already have golf simulators already. It's like 2D, you know. Once you put that on, it's game changing.
Oh, it is.
Bro, they have some where it looks, it's literally like, it's like you, when you go on the virtual tour, they basically like just keep recording, re-recording, and then they feed it into a system where the AI just knows when you look, it just renders these images so fast that it just looks live. It just looks like you're there 360. So
it's crazy, man. That's one next thing I want to get. I want to get an Oculus soon, just to.
Yeah, you were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, I need to get one. Everyone's in the VR chat and everything together. I got to get with the Veve fam in there, man.
Oh man,
I just got one, bro. That thing is ridiculous. You put that on the first time, and you're like, yo. It made me, I was already a believer, but when I put that thing on and I started seeing with the community and all that, I was like, oh, forget it. I got the same feeling when I jumped on the internet for the first time. I mean, I know I sound like really old, but it was AOL chat room. I know.
No, right. Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and I went in there and I'm like, oh, these are real people typing.
Right.
You know, and I had that same feeling. I'm like, these are real people walking around.
You're right. It's hard to understand until you actually get in there. That's also why I want to get it, because I want to show my grandma. She gets it, but like, you know, like you said, like when she puts it on, she's gonna be like, "Whoa, I really get it now." And same with my mom. I haven't really talked about that yet, but without the support of my family, like I've been blessed. I've had the support from my family, my grandma. If I didn't, I wouldn't have had the collection I do right now. I really wouldn't. So it took both parties, the combination. My trust, my belief, the research. They trusted my belief in Veve, and so. My grandma like sees it now. She's like, "Oh my gosh!" So it just feels amazing.
So, do you have any more cards or physical collectibles close by we can take a look at? Or that was it for the cards. I wasn't sure if you had a few more. I just want to make sure that we get to see what you had.
I have a couple Yu-Gi-Oh cards here. I know I showed the Pokemon cards, the sports cards. These are my two best Yu-Gi-Oh cards here. So I have a Blue Eyes White Dragon. That's a pretty popular one. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you're familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh or not, but that's a pretty popular one. It's not in the best condition though, so it's not worth too much. And then this is a first edition Toon Summon Skull, which is a pretty good one too. But it's not in the best condition either, but it's pretty decent, and it's a first edition. So people who are into Yu-Gi-Oh, they know that's two pretty good ones.
So what's the situation with these? Are you gonna sell these?
I'm just gonna hold them at this point. It's actually a blessing that I couldn't sell them in the beginning. I kind of would have been upset because I don't really need to sell them right now. And so It may be nice to have some extra cash right now, but I think at this point, I mean, there's actually, I don't know. There's a few of them, probably like 4 or 5 that I want to get graded because I know that costs money to get graded and everything. And I think I am going to send 4 or 5 out to get graded. And I think I'm just going to keep them. I'm going to, because I just, what I wanted to shout out Dan Shaw before earlier was, so I didn't have physical collectibles like really before Veve that much. And now that I'm into comic books and everything, he sent me the link to another person's Instagram account that like brokers like comic books and everything. And so I bought my first physical comic book because of Dan basically. And it's coming in a couple days and I can't wait for it because it's graded and everything. It's a 9.0 comic book. It's a Todd McFarlane first appearance comic book. So like, I love it. I can't believe it. So because I'm collecting stuff in the physical world, I will collect. I'm going to keep some of these Pokemon cards, sports cards.
Yeah, man.
I'm a collector, man, at heart. I really am.
I know, man. I know that pain, man. I know that pain.
Because like I need some money too. Like I would love to profit, and I probably will on some of them. Absolutely. Like I would put a lot of that money or all of it probably right back into Omi and Veve. So I mean, it would help out tremendously.
Bro, I'm over here flipping and selling stuff, and the next thing I know, I'm like, oh, we got a little profit. What we gonna do? Oh, Omi.
Right. You can't go wrong, man. I mean, this is the opportunity of a lifetime right now. Like when this is on Coinbase, when this is on Binance, when this is on all these platforms, when you can buy Omi on the Veve app.
Game over.
Right.
It's like, game over.
Everybody's going to be buying Omi and everybody's going to be looking back at these times like, why didn't everybody buy it? But like, you got to realize too, we went through the tough times when they're all the FUD. We killed all the FUD. We stood strong through it. There was a lot of times in the summer where, the FUD was strong with a lot of people. They weren't sure. Looking back at 2 years from now, we're going to look back at this time and people are going to be like, how didn't everybody just buy it? But, there's a lot of times where.
We know why, because you got to go through BitForex and you got to go through this, that, and the third.
Right.
And,
the ease of access isn't there yet.
Yeah, I mean, nothing that's worth you getting in early is never really easy to get into. I mean, sometimes, but a lot of the times, like me, I'm a kid. It sounds ludicrous, but when I first heard about Bitcoin, it would have cost me a quarter. And I had a friend who had a friend that basically him and his boy, they just got out the army. This is years ago. This is after Desert Storm. And he was stationed in Texas, and he was out there. He met a guy that was also from New York. And I was waiting for him to come back, and I was going to meet the guy that he was friends with. And he was like, oh, he stayed in Texas. I'm like, why? He's like, you know how we get like all this money. We go out on these tours. He was like, he just decided to buy a house out there. He was like, a matter of fact, he bought 2. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, he's using one of them as a mining thing. I'm like, what are you talking about? This did not make any sense. I'm going to keep it real with you. This is like 2006, 2007, bro. And he was like, this thing called Bitcoin, it costs a quarter, but we didn't know how to buy it. There was no way to buy it. Like we knew the dude mining it, all of that, but could not buy it. Like how could you?
There's no Coinbase back then. Right.
Man, if you could have just put like a G in that back then when it was a quarter.
Exactly.
Man, bro.
Rap.
And that's the thing. I remember finding it later than that, but it was around $50 at the time. And I remember I was about to say, or not about to say, I was gonna put a couple $100 in, buy a couple, and just forget about it. But it was hard to buy even back then. I didn't know how to buy it. I bet with some research I could have found out, but there was no Coinbase to just hit buy now.
Exactly.
Like I know. And
once there is, right, once there is, then it's gonna be higher.
Exactly. Strange and I spoke about this a while ago, and I remember I told him, I was like, man, like the day that that happens, it's on Coinbase, and you can just you're gonna see some gains right there.
But the best part is that's just one of the first catalysts and far from the last.
Yep. And that's the thing. I think we're gonna see a lot of people probably sell too early, because like we all know the vision of this company. We know where it's gonna be. So like just stake it, earn rewards, and it's gonna be here. Like Disney's not gonna partner with something that's only here for a couple of years. Right? They're all about the legacy. They're about building a brand. They're going to have something that's here for decades. And they chose the Veve app, Dan and David, with their trust, to have their entire IP portfolio. National Geographic, like people are going to have not just showrooms, museums, people are going to have like zoos, like they're going to have all kinds of things. Like it's going to be,
we got our Jurassic Park coming. So
right. Like,
yo, that's gonna be next level, bro. Next level. By the way, in the chat, Fast Eddie P says that the Blue Eyes White Dragon is a great card.
Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah, the Blue Eyes is good. It's not in the best condition right now. Well, not right now. It's just not in the best condition, but it's still a pretty valuable card, I would say.
The Gale's in the building. He's like the OG J Dunn.
Let's go, the Gale. Let's go.
Yo, let's go.
Gale's an OG, man.
Yo, for real.
Makes great YouTube videos.
Yo, man, a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun chopping it up with the Gale, man, for sure.
I only watched a little bit. I got to finish that one after this. After this live stream, I think I'm gonna finish your interview with the Gale. We were in the same fantasy football league all year long, and man, that was such a blast, bro. That literally was a time in my life. I've done fantasy football leagues like my whole life. But that was probably one of the best leagues I've ever been a part of. Everybody in it was just awesome. The memories, like we had a group chat the whole time, so it was a blast. Like talking crap to each other each week. Like, man, it was so much fun.
You know what's funny about that is I don't want to consider myself a professional daily fantasy sports player, but I was a lineup provider. I did have a company a couple of years ago.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, mainly FanDuel, DraftKings. Had sponsorships along the way. All that dissolved now, but I just do my little solo thing. But when I saw you guys was getting that started, I said, these guys don't know. They don't know who I am. I'm a fly on the wall right now. I just comment and I'll keep it cool. So I'm gonna keep it cool. I don't want to have to join these guys' leagues and just smash them out of nowhere. I'm not a content creator yet. Like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? So let me, throw some content out there first. We get the channel buzzing. I'll see y'all next year, though. I'm gonna see y'all.
Yeah, you might have to come in the league next year, and that's awesome that you said that, bro. I had no idea. So I kind of do the same thing, right? I have a thing called Dunn's Fantasy Lineups. So I'm a fan. I'm a lineup provider as well.
That's crazy, bro. That's why I'm like, yo, me and this dude got.
When did you start? When did you start doing that? If you don't mind me asking.
Man, me and my boys, we were called DFS Brainiacs.
DFS Brainiacs. I'm sure I've probably seen you guys or something. Because you want to hear a crazy story? Well, go ahead, keep finishing.
I was gonna say one of my boys, he used to work with one of the major brands, Roto. We won't say the rest of it.
Yeah.
One of my other people's, like, what it was for me is when I first started playing daily fantasy, I was okay, but not really that good. And I just kept seeing certain people at the top of the boards always. And eventually I was like, who the hell are these people? How do I find these people? One day a light bulb went off. Started looking around in Twitter. I became friends with a guy named Ro. His name was DFS Ro. And basically in his chat, he had like all the top DFS providers. He had a couple of subscribers in there. He just brought me and took me under his wing. And then I noticed a lot of those guys that were at the top of the board, a dude named King of This Ish, Vic Jagger, AK-47. There's a whole bunch of these dudes on FanDuel, DraftKings, and they were all in the same chat, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, well, I guess I'm in here for a reason. I guess I must be decent, you know what I'm saying? So from there, a couple of us splintered off, and that's how we formed our providing service, man.
Dude, that is awesome. It's crazy because I was doing the same thing, man. I love hearing people talk about FanDuel because I love fantasy football, everything. I do fantasy football, fantasy baseball, and basketball. Those three sports.
Yes.
I think NBA is probably the most consistent for me, just because I feel like there's less variables and everything.
Right.
I'll tell you how I got started. You ready? So I love talking about this because I'm all about like just making ideas. Like I started Dunn's Fantasy Lineups was literally just a crazy idea I had, and it turned into a reality. It's still not to the point at all to where I could support myself from it fully. I don't know if it'll ever get there, but I mean, it was one of my goals.
I have a feeling I've seen it. Like I picture a logo. Like
yes, man. Yo, so I have the craziest story. Ready? Man, I swear, like I've been one of those kids where I thought I was a pioneer my whole life. I've always said crazy things and people just laughed at it, but then they sort of came true. And this is one of those moments. Ready? So how I even began playing FanDuel was I would win fantasy football leagues with my buddies. We would do live drafts together. Well, I get to the point where I won like 3 years in a row, and it took forever for me to get my money. They would just drag it on. I was like, okay, I see. You guys don't want to keep paying the person who keeps winning. So eventually one of my buddies was like, yo, just play FanDuel. Like if you win, you have to get paid. I'm like, okay, let me check this out. And I literally won the first time. I put in $5, a 100-person tournament, and I won $125. I was like, okay, I think I'm onto something here. So I kept, yes, I kept practicing, right? I kept practicing, I kept playing, and I did pretty well. I was playing college baseball at the time, and so college broke athlete. I was winning a little bit of money. I was showing my buddies like, yo, check this out. And eventually they were like, yo, screw you, Dunn. And so I was like, no, let me help you. Just play what I'm playing. I'm telling you. And so it worked. The first time I did that, I told like 10 of my teammates, yo, play this lineup tonight. And it worked. They all won money. And so they all gave me some money. I was like, okay,
there you go.
if I can do this for 10 people, I can do this for the world. I just need to get out there. I just need a website somehow. So I was just graduating college. My best friend, Joe Kelly, he I got him into VV too, and he was like one of the only people who trusted me. He's got a Nightwing, like he's got a Todd. Oh man! So he made a website for me, and I was like, bro, I told him I was desperate for someone to make a website. I was like, just partner with me 50-50. I'll split everything with you 50-50. Just make the website for me. And so he thought about it. He's like, okay, let's do it. And I was like, this may not work at all, and we may just have wasted some time. But if it works, it worked. And he was open-minded enough to say, let's try it. I was like, yes. So we tried it. We opened it, dunsfancylamps.com. And literally in an hour, somehow I got a customer. It was like I was selling like $3 lineups just to see if it would work. And I had a customer from Virginia buy a lineup. And when they bought the first lineup for $3, I was on a high like crazy. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it worked $3, not the amount, but like it worked.
Right.
And I was like, oh my gosh. So then I started like grinding away. And this is how it kind of like had a little bit of a boom. I ended up having clients from every single state at one point in Canada. So I was advertising. This is 2015 on FanDuel, 2014.
That's when I was playing heavy.
Let's go. I was advertising back then. You could edit the name of a FanDuel contest. Right now, if you go on FanDuel, the contest is called like ID 0, whatever. You could edit the name of the contest.
Make
like
it your own.
You can make it called like Jose Collectables or Dokta Strange Collectables, whatever.
How funny.
I was calling it dunsfancylamps.com. So I was spamming it. That's where I messed up. But I was spamming it like 50 times a day. So if you go on to FanDuel from California, Texas, Jersey, and you want to play a free contest, 10 people, 100 or whatever, you would see Dunn's Fancy Lineups. And so random people are just joining these contests and seeing the contest is called dunsfancylamps.com. Mad people were Googling it, obviously, finding it. And like those people were playing FanDuel, obviously. So most people who were playing want help. They'd see Dunn's. So I got mad clients. And so I was like, oh my God, it's working. A few days later, I get an email from FanDuel. We're going to subpoena you to court if you keep advertising on our website or our app. I was like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I did not mean to do that. Like, I didn't know. Like, I'm just a kid, man. Like, I was just, so I said sorry and everything. Nothing happened. But then a couple days later, I go on FanDuel. I see Joe Schmo's lineups. I see all this. I'm like, what's going on? They just told me I can't do that. But now everybody else is doing that.
Yeah.
The next week later, they said, no more editing names. You can, they deleted that possibility.
Yeah,
you can't edit the names anymore. I was like, oh my God. I think I literally, I don't know if I was because of me.
Broke the app, bro. Thank you.
Right. So
let's go. I love it.
I kind of thinking back, I was like, I should have been more strategic and did like a couple a day. But I was just like, boom, a 50. And it's crazy because I kind of did the same thing with Veve in the early days. It didn't matter. I was spamming it. Like, I'm glad I didn't do like a one a day, but I was spamming Gary V's Instagram. Check out Veve. They have the IP. They have the, they're licensed with the biggest IP brands in the world. I was spamming Gary V's Instagram, YouTube, anybody who's in the NBA Top Shot at the time, anybody who was in the crypto. I was just spamming Veve like crazy back in March. And then to see, like, I didn't know it was working. I just saw the growth, and then I kept hearing things like, shout out to Cavell, man. Like, Cavell said he found it from the comments on Gary V's Instagram, and I was just like, this is not happening right now. Like, it's like I didn't know it was actually doing anything, but people were actually seeing it. And so it's just wild, man. Like, that's how the FanDuel thing happened. Like, it's crazy.
You familiar with DFS Karma?
Yes. Yeah, DFS Karma. So are they like an orange logo?
Yeah,
exactly.
I've heard of them. I've heard of them.
So
didn't they go through like some kind of drama thing? Something happened with them.
That's what I was about to tell you. Like, at that point when they were blowing up to it, let's say you went into a double up, all you saw was people playing their lineups and all. When they were at their height, they were trying to recruit me and my boys. You know what I'm saying? Because they started
Right.
getting into podcasts and, you know, I don't want to put them on blast, but they had their motives. Let's just say they were trying to corral different demographics, as they has told us.
Right.
You know, we're just not willing to sell out for anybody, you know what I mean? But so that further let us know we're on the right path.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Keep doing what we're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
yeah, man, got a little skills.
Yeah, I bet you're good, bro. I mean, you're there for a reason, bro. Like you're gonna be good. And it translates, it does translate, you know, into season long.
It does, man. I actually started with season long and then it just, I don't know, it kind of bored me
Right.
because I wasn't getting paid. It's like you said,
You
like
can wait to the end.
you're coddling all of this situation and you're like nurturing it and you're cutting players and trying to see who you could, you know, draft and all that, like not draft, but, you know, pull off the free agent list and all this stuff. You're like, for what? And there's people every day getting paid, like basketball's every day. Hold on, bro. Between that, baseball, like so much, you know, so many ways to get paid, man. I got nice with NASCAR even. I'm nice with golf, you know. Yeah, so I know a lot of golfers for no reason. You're like, why is this black guy golfer for no reason? Like,
That's great.
That's awesome, man.
Drivers for no reason. Like, you know, it's what you got to do, bro.
Gale's into fantasy too, big time.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not a pro or anything, but I love playing DFS and season long, both of them. Been doing it for years, man.
Yes.
So,
Okay, sounds like Joe's getting in the tournament next year too. Then.
Oh man, that'll be dope, man. This year was bad, man. It was not a good year for me. But,
I got lucky this year in the championship. I feel like, man, my opponent was going against the Jets, and so he had like all the Bucks players, and I was like, oh man, this is not a good matchup for me. And then he had AB quits. Like I was just like, oh my god, the fantasy gods were just looking out for me.
For that, yo, I was like, wait, there's no way the Jets are gonna win this game, man. It was
it's crazy. It was crazy.
AB just bounced.
See, so now I know I wore the right team for the right guest today. You know,
I'm an Eagles fan, man.
Yes, damn it. Yeah, sorry, I don't have any green and white hats in the Arsenal except Jets ones, man. I'm sorry, bro.
All right, so we're talking DFS and whatnot, talking sports. What are your favorite sports? You're into, I'm thinking everything.
Yeah, so I'm a big sports fan. I can't wait on Veve till we get some, you know, I know we have the NFLPA license, I think, right? So I'm pretty sure we do. I can't wait for the NFL players. I mean, if we get NFL players, obviously I feel like not every player in the league is going to be valuable type thing, right? If you get the top players to be valuable. Can't wait to get NFL players. I love watching football. Baseball, obviously, I'm going to be a huge fan of baseball if we get baseball collectibles. Big baseball fan in general. That's honestly like one of my favorite things because I love pitching. I love being on the mound, like controlling it. I love that. I love infield too. I was like a third baseman, second baseman when I wasn't pitching. So just being in there. And then basketball, I love watching. I wasn't really good at basketball. I stopped playing right up until high school. If I played basketball in high school, I probably would have been a solid like first guy off the bench. Like I'm not going to be that great. I was a shooter. Can't really dribble that well, but I can spot up and shoot threes.
Same here.
So what are your teams though?
Philly.
Like,
I'm a Philly fan. Philly fan all around. So Phillies for the baseball. I'm a big Sixers fan. Eagles are tough to root for, man. Believe it or not, I mean, I was an Eagles fan all the way, but I'm more so like the players involved. Like I was a huge Mike Vick fan. I love Mike Vick. When he came to the Eagles, I was like, wow, let's go. Watching him on the Falcons.
Jersey. I got the Falcons Mike Vick.
Wow, that's awesome, bro.
Yeah, I had the white Nikes that came out at that time too, man. I can't remember what they were called, but they had the 7 on the back.
Wow. Like I'm number 7. Like I love Mike Vick, man, so much. Like, man, that was a whole different era in football. I feel like watching him play.
Right.
So by the way, in the chat, Kelvin Lima says soccer on Veve, please.
Let's go. That's my man, Kelvin right there. So soccer, I played soccer growing up as a kid. Not the biggest fan of soccer, but I know soccer is such a worldwide international phenomenon. When if Veve gets soccer, see ya.
I mean, look, I'm not a big soccer fan. I'm gonna keep it at 100 with you, okay? but I know that soccer is huge worldwide.
Right.
So, like as you mentioned, it comes to VV. I mean, it's done and like crazy. Like it's gonna be like crazy. Everybody's gonna from around the world is gonna just go nuts. There's just
Absolutely.
so many soccer fans.
Internationally, all around the world.
Yeah, international, absolutely. So okay, so what about some? I know we spoke cartoons, and what about some shows? I know we're still on the fence on whether or not Power Rangers it was a show or a cartoon, but
Right.
what about some TV shows that maybe you watch now?
So TV shows. The first thing I would say, I mentioned Simpsons as a cartoon. I would say that's a TV show. So I would mention Simpsons is one of my favorite shows of all time. So that's why when we got the Bart, I was like, oh my gosh. I used to say in live streams, can you imagine? Like we kind of are collecting everything on Veve that drops right now. Can you imagine when the Simpsons actually drops? People are literally just going to have full collections of every single Simpsons character. Like it's huge. So Simpsons was definitely one of my favorites. Used to watch with my dad all the time. And so shows, let's see, what are some other shows I used to watch? I really haven't watched too many TV shows, to be honest, recently. Movies, would you consider movies like in there too? I'm a big fan of some actors. Like Will Smith is one of my favorite actors. I mean, Independence Day, I'm like a big like alien type guy. So like Independence Day was one of my favorite ones. It's kind of low key. A lot of people don't talk about that movie. I like that.
Are you? You say you're into extraterrestrials, dude.
So let's go.
I think we're all kind of half alien, to be honest. I really do.
He knows we're not from here, people. We're not
right, man. That's why I always joke around saying like I'm half alien. I believe literally humans are all half kind of alien. Like
absolutely, yeah.
So
yeah. So
I know that's gonna sound crazy to some people, but
no, I know.
Uranium meant to house all types of lives not from here.
Right.
Look, I asked that question, and so you say yes. Obviously, you're saying yes. The aliens are real.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
Okay.
Have you had any encounters or witnesses?
Actually, I've not. I really wish I have, to be honest. I'm one of those people that's like, come on, like I want to see something, like I feel like those people never see anything though. It's always the people that are like, I guess aren't into it or something. They see it or
I thought the same thing. And then once I saw my first, it didn't stop.
Wow, really? What did you see? You got to tell me about this.
Man.
Maybe you don't want to talk about it.
I don't mind it, but it's too lengthy of a story to do here and now.
Wow, okay, then you got to tell me after then or something.
Yeah, that's why I said we're gonna end up chopping it up, man. I got so many people I gotta follow up with, man. I'm like, man, Randy, Gale, like all you guys are just
shout out to Randy too, man. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For sure. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go there. We might have to get another channel started. I might get my own channel started. I don't know. We gotta stay tuned to see what happens.
Let's go.
But some of the things that I've seen, I've actually been able to capture on camera, and those are on my channel right now.
Wow. I gotta check them out.
Yeah, they're there. It may need a little context put to it, which is why I think I'm gonna start a channel and rehash the videos, slow them down, analyze, zoom in, do all that type of stuff, kind of put it in more of a perspective of what you're looking at sometimes. But some things are kind of obvious what you're looking at too, so you gotta check it out.
That's amazing. I'm definitely gonna check that. I think at this point in time, I mean, it's more likely that there is something else out there than there isn't, right? And then I think it just sounds too crazy to people like, yeah, there's aliens because of the whole like stigma about it, people like laugh, etc. But it's like, I mean, I would laugh kind of at you if you think there are aliens, like.
No, man, I'm with you, man. I'm with you on that. So maybe at the end or something, maybe we can get into Strange's story if he wants, if he's feeling up to it.
Right.
So we spoke cartoons, we spoke shows, and we even got into aliens. So what about, you said Will Smith, but you didn't give me like three. I want 3 movies, Independence Day and give me 2 more.
Ooh, okay. A little different vibe, but I feel like it's definitely a classic movie. Shawshank Redemption, right? That's my joint.
Yeah,
that's a good one right there.
I use that in the rap too.
Really? What?
I said, I'm sure to use a shank to get redemption when I'm fenced in like Morgan Freeman in Shawshank Redemption.
Woo!
Fire.
Fire. All right, you can spit. Let's go.
Mucho
Like those,
caliente
like those
right there.
entendres, you know what I'm saying? I gotta use those entendres on them.
Let's go. So yeah,
No,
that's a
man,
legendary
Strange
movie
is
right there.
nasty.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Let's see. Where's some other good ones? Oh man, Saving Private Ryan.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I can't leave that one out, right?
That's crazy that you could dig that far back though. Like that's a classic, bro. The first time that beach scene when I seen the dude running,
dude.
Like he was chilling. He had all his arms and his legs. Everything was fine. And then the next minute, the camera didn't cut away. His joint just blew off. I was like, how'd he do that?
No, that movie.
I'm actually someone who's not going to be familiar with too many classic movies, believe it or not. So like the ones I've seen, like, I mean, that's one that war movies kind of like blow me away because I try to put myself in those shoes.
Right.
And it's a crazy, crazy feeling, man. Like it blows my mind how those people did it back then. I mean, the bravery, like, man, it puts me in a different position, man. Like perspective, you know,
right.
That movie puts like life into perspective. I feel like sometimes you need to like watch that to realize, like, okay, we have it all pretty good right now, you know. Like,
for sure. Watch that Black Hawk Down. Watch Black Hawk Down.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, absolutely. That's another. See, these are the type of kind of movies I love watching, man. There's another great one we watched as a baseball team headed, like we had a long travel then. We watched an amazing one. It was like a Band of Brothers type movie. What was the name of it? Oh, I'm blanking out. I gotta think of it. But
maybe it'll come back. Maybe
it'll come back. If it comes back, I'll mention it. But love movies like that, man. I mean, because I feel like we live in such a fast-paced world with everything that we're doing. Those movies, especially for me, they just kind of rewind things and just like
slow things down.
Slow things down and make you like think about life and everything. So
by the way, in the chat, this is open forum. If you want us to ask a specific question to Johnny Dunn, the OG, let us know, and we'll ask. By the way, drop a like. If for whatever reason you're not subbed to Johnny Dunn's YouTube channel already, go ahead. It's pinned. I pinned a link in the live chat. It's their pin. So go sub and then come back. Let's go. So all right. I know you mentioned the old school Batman toy and the Hot Wheels and all that. So what old school toy that you had that maybe you lost or you threw away or what have you, if you could get one back, you know, which old school toy that you owned as a kid would you bring back?
This is a good one. Put me on the spot here. Let me think about this one. Talked about the match. For some reason, these Hot Wheel cars stick in my mind. I remember, to be honest, I don't know if I still have them or not. So maybe I don't have them anymore that I would like back, but I know they're not in good condition anymore because I've seen them before and they're like just all torn apart, dirty. But like, I'll tell you, if I had these Hot Wheels cars like to this day that were in like, if they were just like in great condition, if they weren't all messed up, they would be worth a lot of money. So right now, off the top of my head, I would say like the Hot Wheels cars, Matchbox cars, because I had like really, really good ones. Like I was like playing with them and all, like I tore them apart. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. See, they're like collectibles now. Like if you have some like old, because they're like classic cars, some of them old school.
Exactly.
And if you have them in amazing condition still, because I don't think they're like Pokemon cards. You're supposed to play with them back then.
Right. You're
so
not
if you
supposed
still
to
have them.
It's like the G.I. Joes, you know what
I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly. Yep. G.I. Joe's is probably a huge one too.
There's a
I don't
guy
have anything with them.
At my job in his office, he has a ball of Hot Wheels still in the box.
In the box, you got them still. Wow, like Strange does right now. Wow.
Strange.
See, I don't have. See, mine are all out of the box in one big box all together. Like
I'm saying, that random bag of toys. You know?
Literally, yep. But I should dig through them and see if I like have any good ones still. But
so all right. So which collectible that you physical? We're gonna go physical right here, and then we're gonna go into digital. Which physical collectible do you have that has the highest value, and then the most emotional significance, sentimental value?
Okay, so the most sentimental value, like I'm emotionally attached to it. It's probably not worth the most because it's out of the box. And it's dusty and everything. I felt like if I wanted to keep the value in that one, I would have kept it in the box. But that one is like the emotional attachment to me because it's the replica of the first one on Veve, right? Like that was my first real statue. So me, that signifies like my birth of Veve almost. My most valuable card, though, believe it or not, it's probably one of my Pokemon cards or this Tiger Woods Sports Illustrated collectible or card. The Tiger Woods one, I found out the Sports Illustrated one is pretty valuable. It's not graded though, so I don't know the quality of that one as well. The Pikachus are pretty valuable. And Randy, if Randy's watching the stream, he'd be able to tell you how valuable these two are. The pterodactyl one, I couldn't tell you anything about. It's like a holographic Japanese type card, but people keep telling me who know a lot about it. That's pretty valuable. So I personally don't know how much that one is.
Man, so all right. So now,
but yeah, I would say those cards probably the most valuable.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy.
So what about in Veve? I mean, look, if you don't want to answer, that's fine.
No, I can answer. Okay, it's nothing crazy. I don't own Donnies and everything like that. Okay. The most expensive Veve collectible I have, is the Secret Rare Spider-Man right now. I have the Secret Rare, the 1000, the first Marvel NFT collectible. And the crazy story about that one is, I think the floor is like 30K right now, which is wild. I got that one on the drop. I got that for, and I didn't have $400 at the time. I didn't have $400 that I could put in. So my grandma, I'm not even gonna lie. My grandma literally hooked me up for that drop. She was like, "Well, here's $400 in case you get it."
Wow.
I was like, "Okay." Put the $400 in. I got the drop. At the time, I didn't realize how valuable it was really gonna. I thought it was gonna be a few thousand.
Wow.
David Yu, I posted an Instagram picture of that collectible. I was like, "Let's go!" I got the Secret Rare Spider-Man. David Yu comments like, "Wow, so lucky. I wish I got that one." I was like, okay, I guess it's pretty valuable then. Yeah. And then it was like a few thousand. It dipped back to like 1.9. And I thought about getting another one. I didn't pounce on it. And I was like, oh my gosh, we all were thinking we should have then.
Yeah, go.
And then it just ran up. And I'm like, wow. So like for me, I only have one of those. My collector in me, I'm not selling that one ever. Like when it gets to like 100K, for me, I'm looking at Veve as like, I don't want to have to sell my big collectibles I have one of.
Right.
Because in my eyes, I'm going to be able to charge a gem fee for the big showroom. And I think long term, $1 a day from 10,000 people,
there you go,
be worth more than I think just selling that one collectible. So I do believe at some point we're going to be able to have like a virtual museum, and people, have a following like you guys will. People will come in and pay a gem to see what you guys are collecting, see what your showroom looks like.
Show laid out, right?
I think so.
Yeah. And so that's kind of how I am going to probably profit on a couple big duplicates eventually. Like I made 2 huge moves that were, at the time right now, they're looking great. Who knows in the future what's going to happen? I had 2 Da Vinci's at the time, traded the one at 4K. I got the wall under 4K. And at the time, I didn't know if that's a huge amount of money for me to make like big decisions like that. It was a gut feeling. I just was like, Walt Disney's under Da Vinci. I just felt like I don't know. I pounced on. I usually don't make decisions like this, but I just did it. Sold it for 4K. By the time it ran up from like 2.9 all the way up to 3.6, got it. And then I woke up in the morning, it was like 7K. Yep. I was like, oh my God.
That's the thing, man. I noticed with us being where we are, there's a lot of I woke up in the morning stories.
Literally.
My boy, he pulled the Secret Rare Marvel #1, and we were just joking around because, comics weren't getting any love or whatever. So we were just playing around with him like, yo, just list it at 30K and just leave it there. And then one day randomly, like a month later, I think it was, whenever they pumped, he just in the morning was like, guys, we got 30K. I'm like, what?
Oh my God. What a feeling, man.
He's like, yo, just everybody send me your QR. He got everybody, like, we couldn't transfer gems at the time. So he just bought us all like a collectible for 100, transferred it to us. It's like, you know.
Wow.
So, yeah,
that's
man.
unbelievable. The crazy story about that Marvel Comics one is the common was selling for like $4 right away. Like people were reselling that for like $3 or $4.
Bro.
Wild. The secret rare was like a 1,800.
Well, I had like 7, bro. I gave him one. I was like, Oprah, you get a Marvel. You get a Marvel.
Dude, everybody was. Giveaways was
you have a Marvel. Like, I was giving them away, bro. I pulled a lot on that first drop though, but you know what really pisses me off is the fact that we could have got some commons for $4 or $3, but I wasn't even looking at what like the ultra rares were going for. I know they might have been a little pricey in my perception then, but as far as what we know now, like we could have been scooping those. Oh my!
Yeah, they were probably only like 100 or something back then.
Right, I got ultra rare from the drop though, because I hit like 6 blind boxes during the drop. But just to think, like my mentality wasn't go in the market, buy more, you know, like man, you know. But we've been through these things a couple of times where we have like a first of something, and a lot of newer people, they haven't gone through that. Like we went through going from like a DeLorean drop of a car, and you're like, okay, that's so cool. And it's the DeLorean that you're like, it's going to be a hit. But then all of a sudden they shock the system by giving you hoverboards. And you're like, what am I going to do with this? Like, what is it for? Like, are people going to be into this? So it just lays dormant. It lays in the grass. And then when it pumps, you're like, oh yeah, it is Back to the Future too. It makes sense. You know, you're sitting there looking stupid. You know,
in hindsight, it's like, wow.
Right. So I feel like the stamps of that again, these golden moment statues of that again, all these different, they're like not new, but they are new. So it's like we don't know how to really feel them out and evaluate them sometimes.
Absolutely. That's a great point. I think the stamps are big time slept on. The thing about the stamps, like that's how collecting began, is with stamps. My grandma got into collecting because of her stamps. She still has her stamp collection. Like I think what's happening, I think someone touched on this in one of the videos I saw recently. So I don't know who it was. Sorry, I don't remember the name, but if it was you, let me know in the chat. Talked about how the demographics, like the target audience of like stamp collecting may not just be here yet on the Veve app. Like most of the time it's like anywhere from like 25, 35, 40-ish. I feel like the age right now, majority of the people. And maybe, I don't know, I feel like stamp collecting maybe just not
50
in
plus. 50 plus is the target.
Right. Like
So
I feel like
if they would have dropped postcards, that would be the same demographic. If they went for iconic newspapers, Veve, whenever you want you're a creative, expansive consultant, shout out your boy. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Postcards, all of that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Eddie P got the autograph postcards. Like, there's so much you can do with the sports. And oh man, Joe, please cut me off, man. Shut me up, Joe.
Well, I wanted to mention that Voltron. I'm big into Voltron. I have like a Voltron toy and all that. I have little kid pictures of me playing with Voltron. Okay.
Wow.
So when Voltron dropped, I was like, yo, oh my goodness, going crazy. And the value doesn't show that. And you know, I'm, you know, in my 40s.
Let me add to that. Let me ask you, do you own a Voltron? Did you get one?
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 2.
You got one, right?
Yes.
Did you look at it? You analyzed it?
It looks dope. I love it.
Love it, right? Did you notice that ain't the same dude you grew up with?
Yes, I know.
That's the new Netflix one, right?
That's
why. Yep.
Yeah. I know, but still, it still is a Voltron. To me,
and it's the first DreamWorks, DreamWorks NFT.
Like this, I'll put it to you like this: I knew what was going to happen to it before it even dropped because of this. What's bigger to you, Star Trek or Voltron?
Okay, it's to me. The question is to me. So Voltron, to me.
No, but I'm saying,
I was crazy for Voltron.
My question isn't what's bigger to you. My question is when you look at the world and you perceive the world.
Oh yeah, Star Trek.
As right, which one has more fans, more reach?
Oh yeah, Star Trek
has movies till today, TV shows till today, right? But yet when Star Trek dropped, we got Borg cubes and Starship Enterprises, and when you got on the app, that was sitting right there in the store for you to buy at the retail price.
Which I did.
That's how I knew Voltron wasn't going to do what we hoped it to do.
Right.
You're not bigger than Star Trek.
No, for sure. It was just big to me.
Absolutely.
You know,
man, I don't some of this stuff I don't care about what it necessarily does in the market, because that's the collector side of me. Like, I want my Voltron and I got it and I'm cool with that. So if it doesn't move, I don't care. Other pieces, yeah, I care.
That's how I went to 007. Like, I knew like that's probably not going to be that valuable right away, but like me, big 007 fan, love James Bond, the whole 7. Like, I got it. I got it all. I know it's probably not going to go crazy right now, but I had to have it. That's my collector in me right there. I feel like it's good to have a little bit of both, right? You get the ROI stuff, right? And then you get the things that you absolutely love. So
absolutely. I agree, man. You know, I'm obviously I'm a collector. You know, I love collecting, and that's, you know, when I see something that I like, that I have actually collected in real life, you know, I get hyped, and you know, I want it. And it's just like, you know, when I'm like, wow, it doesn't perform. But the thing is, we're so early, man. We're so early. It was super early. So speaking of collectibles, you know what, Strange? I forgot to mention the physical collectible of the live tonight. I always have a different physical collectible, and oh man, you know, I know we were sitting with an OG over here, so I wanted to have a game used Babe Ruth bat and jersey card.
What?
It's numbered to 10. This is number 9 of 10. I'm trying to
wow, bro, that's a Babe Ruth. That's real.
Yeah, it's real. It's numbered 9 to 10 Babe Ruth. Game
that is unbelievable right there, my man. I don't know how much that thing is worth, but I can't even imagine, to be honest.
it's a goodie. I wanted to bring out some fire. Mucho caliente.
The only thing I have anything close to that, which is not even going to be close to in value, is the Babe Ruth Funko Pop.
Oh, let's go.
What?
I had to.
Yo, I gotta get in on that, man. I gotta get in on the action, bro. I ain't letting this one go, man. Especially because I got this in the mail today, man. I can't keep up with you dudes, but I will share a little bit of what I grabbed up today.
Let's go.
This is an Evan White rookie on-card auto.
That's what's up. Everybody showing physical collectibles.
Now, were you guys into physical collections before Veve? Like, you guys were collecting stuff physically before Veve?
I'm a long-time collector. Yeah.
I started collecting comics when I was way too young, bro.
Okay. So did you guys know, like, being a physical collector your whole life, did you know instantly, like, when you found Veve, that this was like the next
Wave?
Wow, let's go. Ain't kidding around. He's got the
fire.
Dude, that's an awesome card you have, bro. I mean,
graded.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Do some graded.
Deadpool 9.8.
Deadpool number 1.
Very, very nice.
Wow. See, that's why I love comics graded, bro, because they look. I got addicted just to the way they look, and I don't even have one yet. I absolutely love the way that it's like a trophy. You know, it's a big plaque.
Right. You're right, though, man. No, I didn't know till I got my first one. You know, I've never sent any comics off to be graded. Like Joe, you know, he got a couple of children waiting to be birthed.
Yes.
Graded, and when I got it, you'll see, Johnny. But it's crazy that you know that already without even having it yet. But I definitely felt that. But Joe, tell them your experience, man. What's going on? You got a new child yet, or what?
Bro, look, I submitted comic books to get graded over 9 months ago. I could have had a kid already.
What?
Yeah, man. He could have, man. What is going on?
So it's almost been about 10 months and you haven't gotten him back yet?
Bro, yes. You
don't get any kind of like confirmation from them, like it's on the way, it's coming soon?
The only confirmation I got was, I kid you not, it was like, I want to say 2 months after I mailed it, they said I got an email saying that they received it. So
what are they doing with it then?
It was, I don't know what they were doing. It was sitting in a pallet somewhere. and it was being ignored. My comics, crying because I'm not there, you know, to caress them at night and
Right.
stuff.
and you're trusting them, you know. I mean, who's to say they're not gonna lose it, mess it
Yeah,
up?
and that's the thing. I'm hearing craziness come out from, you know, different people saying, "Oh, this nightmare story." So yeah, man. So I don't think I'm ever going to submit to for comics to be graded ever again.
Unbelievable. And you went to PSA, is that right? PSA, because there's other ones, right?
No, I use CGC.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, for the comics, right, okay.
So yeah, so
It's the same as PSA though.
Yeah, definitely. There's aren't there like alternate hybrid ones, but they're not like trusted as much, right? With the grading system, like if you get a 9.8 in this hybrid, it's not going to be as valuable as
hybrid grading. Yeah,
because that's the stuff I was researching all that stuff when I first found my Pokemon cards, like late February, and I'm like, that's what led me into finding the whole Veve thing, like I was saying. But I remember hearing about the hybrid stuff, and I was like, man, give me the digital.
You know, and that's the thing. You know, okay, so. You know, we're talking a lot about physical, man, but you know what? It's just, look, don't get me wrong. I'm a long-time physical collector. I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of love for it, but there's a lot of downside to it. You know, if you're moving a lot of product, you're going to have to deal with a lot of drives to the post office, postage, mailbacks, this and that. And then I sent some cards to get graded, sport cards, and they came back with that they're not authentic. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I've had these cards since like eons ago. How, you know? And so now I have to, so either two things happen. Either I bought them as a kid as fakes, right? Or whoever they have, you know, authenticating
made a mistake.
Right. So either way,
in the middle.
Yeah, so either way I lose.
To me, this way you lose, and then the only thing you can do if it's something you really, really want to sell that bad, now you got to do like, you know, getting a second opinion from a doctor.
Right.
Spend more money.
Yo, all right, man. So okay, all right. So I got another question, man. What do your friends say about the whole collection of digital assets and whatnot?
99% of my friends think I'm absolutely crazy. They still don't believe it. They think I've lost my mind completely. It got to the point where I was literally like, I started losing a lot of friends when I first started making music, believe it or not. And so those friends, like as soon as I started doing the whole Veve app thing with the NFTs, those friends were continuously keep making fun of me even more. And I put those people that made fun of me, I even put those people on game. I said, yeah, you guys are funny, but you should really download the Veve app and literally buy all these Batman right now. They laughed at me even more. Like I knew they would laugh. I knew they wouldn't do it, but I wanted to at least tell them because I knew this. It literally, exactly, because I knew this moment would happen now to where I show them all the prices. I show them what my collection's worth, and now they don't ever text me back. like, and then they'll go chat with other people and say, yeah, Johnny's crazy. He thinks he's worth all his money, but he can't cash out. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
that's the next thing. Yeah.
Like, you see, they don't see it.
No, man. And that's the thing. They don't see it. And when those people don't see it, it's like the saying, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it.
That's right. I see that all the time. I've posted stuff on my Twitter where I'm like, you can lead a horse, and I just put ... you know, just, like I can't do it, man. I spend so much time trying to, you know, find the information just for myself, and then when I do, I'm sitting here like, damn, I know I should copy and paste this link and send it over here, send it to this dude, send it to that dude. By the time you do all that and cover all these bases, 90% of the people you sent it to don't even care. They don't believe. And then you don't waste so much time. Now you got to scramble and try and still get what you got to get for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I'm just at the point where I'm like, look, I've put in so much work in disseminating information that I'm just done.
Facts.
Because we're in an information age, and if everybody is aware of that, then you know that you know, it's a competition-driven society. So we're all privy to information. It's about who acts on it now. I come from the age of we didn't have information. You wanted to know something, you either had to, like, I'll put it to you like this. Hip-hop beefs right now happen instantly. Like, it could just be through Twitter. It could be through a misunderstanding. No, back in the days, if there was a beef, like, it was because, like, someone said something on a record, and then it started buzzing through the community, like, yo, is he saying that about such and such? Then you had to wait till the next month for the Source magazine or the Vibe magazine to drop, and they do an interview with the other person, and then they confirm it with beef. So you're like, oh, it is official. You're reading it. Now you got to wait again for someone to drop another record or do another interview. So it was a trickle down. It wasn't like
Not gonna happen like that.
Yeah. You know, so it's like we're just in a whole different world. So I come from the age of like, you got to dig for information. And I've seen that whole thing change with the internet and everything.
Like we got Google in our hands now. We can Google anything.
We got a encyclopedia. Like back in the days, you had to literally go walk your ass to a bookshelf or a library somewhere to get the it's in your hand. So now it's like we all got that same advantage. So what's the real difference is who acts on it, who's capable of acting on it, all these different things. So that's where we are.
Big time. My dad always talks about that too. I mean, my dad's one of those people who he doesn't even have a cell phone. He's so against technology, but he would use it for his benefit. Like he always talks about people who like always constantly they don't know how to do something, but they'll spend all their time watching Netflix, binging the new series, or like he always talks about how we have everything we need in the palm of our hands these days. Just Google it. You can find out all this information on your own, but yet people would rather just binge watch, you know, series of movies instead of actually digging for that kind of information. And I feel like
people that'll ask you when they can literally put the same energy into asking the phone.
Exactly. Literally. Exactly, man.
That's
I mean, we live in an age where you can do it by yourself. And like you said, it's competition because everybody has it. So
all equal opportunity now, literally. So
absolutely.
Information.
So by the way, in the chat, drop a like. I've got, if for whatever reason you're not subbed to Johnny Dunn's YouTube channel, it's pinned in the live chat right there. Go ahead, drop him a sub if for whatever reason, like I said, if you're not already. So we're just getting to know him. You know what? Let's see. What about, talk to us about a grail on Veve. What is something that, a holy grail, that, you know, an item that you really want the most?
So yeah, there's a couple I feel like holy grails on Veve. I feel like the one that I want the most, you know, I've been so blessed on Veve. I talk about this all the time. Like I feel like I'm literally in a dream sometimes. Like it doesn't feel real at times. I feel like I have almost all the grails besides the one grail that's on Veve that I don't have. The Marvel Comics Secret Rare. I don't have that one. I think that is a grail. I was lucky enough to be able to get a low 3-digit mint of one of those common Marvel comics, which I was so happy I was able to get that for my collection, because I feel like for me, I was collecting all those common low digits, so I was lucky enough to grab one of those, but I don't have the secret rare, so that's one of the grails that I think will do great on Veve, but I don't have that one, so that's one that I wish I did comp at like 2K for sure.
Yeah.
Damn, man. I know in hindsight, man, in hindsight.
I should have sold one of my Nightwings that I got back in the fantasy football. Like, imagine that move. Like, since I won the fantasy football, I got a Nightwing out of it. So now I have 3, but I should have sold my duplicate Nightwing. Boom, got the Marvel Comics #1 in the marketplace for 2. Could you imagine that? And then I get my Nightwing back. I would be literally just, I don't know. Hindsight, that'd be the best move.
All right. So what about in physical? Is there anything that a physical collectible that you would like to have?
Yeah, there's definitely a couple. So right now, like you guys saw, I only have the Todd Batman. I do have a Rizzo statue here. I wanted to collect the full set of the first series of Batman.
Right.
And then I thought to myself, if I do that, I'm going to end up collecting the first season 1 Batman. I would literally try to collect the whole thing. So I'm stopping on that one. But I really want the whole, I'm trying to get the whole Batman collection on Veve. I would love to have the whole physical collection. That's one thing I would love to have. The Joker, FA, the Harley Quinn, the Penguin. Like, those are some statues that I really, really want. Comics too. Like, now that I bought the one comic, I'm just waiting for it to come in. There's a couple others that I've been looking at. I just don't have the money. I don't have the money to be buying them, or I really would. So it's kind of just so like on my wish list, I put it as, basically.
For sure. I mean, right now, I think the ROI is on Veve because, you know what I mean? I think that it's gonna just keep exploding. You know what I mean? We're so early, and that's just how it is. You know, I think, you know, that's my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know the future.
Right.
That's what I'm doing. You know,
right. I feel like for me, my physical collections are just like kind of like the Funko Pops. Like I have a ton of Funko Pops that are not worth anything. And they were really cheap when I got them. So I was like, you know what?
I was just about to get the Tupac one, yo. That's so
nice.
funny. You got them?
Let's go. I got a couple Tupac.
Yo, me and Johnny is twins, man. That's it, bro. We twins. That's it.
That is funny.
Me and Johnny gonna need more room for activity soon, bro.
Absolutely. This is my favorite.
It is hilarious.
I have all the Tupac ones actually.
Oh, I wanted the one with the bandana with no shirt on with the blue jeans. That's the one I had.
I think I have that one.
You have the yellow Timbs.
Yeah, I have it upstairs. I'll have to show you that one. This is my favorite, the all gold Biggie.
Oh, that's sick.
Funny. Super dope.
I think I have that Tupac one you're talking about. I just don't have it down here. Lil Wayne is one of my favorite ones. I mean, obviously Lil Wayne. I mean,
oh man, yeah, I've seen that one too. He had another one, I think, with like black on or something like a black.
Wow, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, yo.
I'm gonna have to get that one.
That's sick.
And then this one actually just came out. So I would say a couple months ago when I finished ordering all my Funkos.
Yes.
Like the last one, and I got the AI one. AI made me feel like I was gonna go to the NBA. I would cut my long baseball socks and put them on my arm as like arm sleeves. Like I was one of those players, man. Literally just I loved AI and what he brought to the game, man. I mean, he was just himself and he did it his way.
That's right.
Not conform to anything. And that's what I love, man. Because like if at the end of the day, how are you gonna hate someone who puts his life on the line every game, goes full out? You're not gonna say he's giving up. Like it don't matter what he's wearing in the interviews, he's being himself. And nowadays, players, you want like it's a brand. Like you don't want players to just be a robot. You want them to show emotion. You want them to like be themselves. So I feel like you change that. Exactly.
It's like they say, sell yourself. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it does more selling than all of this other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, for sure. That's hilarious, man. So I mean, what kind of music? I mean, obviously we already spoke some music and whatnot. So let's just dive a little bit deep into music. I see you got the Tupac, Funko Pop, you got Biggie and whatnot.
Lil Wayne. Yeah, so those are like Lil Wayne, Biggie, Tupac. Like that's what I grew up on. Like those are like my favorite hip hop artists. And then recently, big fan of Russ. I don't know if you guys know who Russ is or not, but big fan of Russ because he always talks, he preaches independence.
Music, man. He's crazy.
Love his music, man. Sonically and just what his message, what he preaches in his music too. Like I feel like I resonate so much with him. And then believe it or not, Meek Mill. Like I like Meek so much because I grew up in I live right by Philly, like 20 minutes from Philly. And so all my friends in like 8th grade, freshman year in high school is probably like, for me, that was like 2008, 2007. And so we saw Meek like rapping on the corner in the streets with his braids.
Yeah.
Or he was Meek Mill today. And so all my friends were like, I found him through my friends and we all were following his come up through the Flamers 1, 2, 3, like his mixtapes. And to see where he's at today, like a full-blown mainstream artist, like I am addicted to watching people blow up like that because it's motivating as anything, inspiring. Like I saw Meek Mill do it. I believe I can do it. I can do anything now. And some people don't have that mindset because they're like, oh, that's Meek Mill, though. You can't do that. Like that's
they don't understand how much from the bottom he came. They don't they need to go back and watch some Smack DVDs and see him on the corner looking dusty. Looking dusty, like he
they
just
see the Meek Mill now and they're like
crime, and then they would like rap, you know. It's like, all right, just carjack somebody, but oh, here's a verse. You know, it's like wow. But yeah, you're absolutely right, man. It's motivational, you know what I'm saying? But the problem is, a lot of people always like to see the cooked product and not what went down in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? They don't like the part where they was cutting the animal up and taking the skin off. They just want to see the hot meal steaming. You know what I'm saying?
On the plate, all ready to serve. And that's the thing. Like when I tell people, like, if Meek Mill can do it, I can do it. They're like, that's Meek Mill. I'm like, that's what you know Meek Mill now. Like,
right. But I'm Johnny Dunn. Like,
right. Facts. Exactly. Like that's how I think. And that's how I think everybody should think. And that's why I love music artists like Russ, because his message is like self-belief, like believe in yourself, you know? Like, so I just love artists like that.
He did something amazing, man. Like, I can't even compare what he did to anyone else, man. Like, I don't know of anybody that was that independent, blew up that much, and then still stayed independent. Like, no,
He owns it all, man. Like,
that's crazy.
like rappers hear that today and they're like, it gets them jealous and like kind of like hate because they're like, I'm tied down. I don't own anything. I'm making like probably 8%.
Yep.
And he's making the beats himself. Like, and that's why I love It's Wonderful, man. Non-fungible, because I see so much of Russ in him to where I'm like, as soon as I saw him, I tried bringing him into Veve and literally just like, you know, like just supporting him as much as I could, because one, he's such a great dude in itself to where he's not like, he's the type of person you want to support. You know, he's going to do things for other people. Like he put me on a song. He doesn't have to do that. You know, he doesn't have to, you don't have to put me on anything. He put me on his album twice. Like, so stuff like that, man. I mean, I see so much of Russ in him to where I think he's going to be big time.
Yeah, me too.
For sure.
We all got each other pushing each other, man, in whatever our passions are. And that's why I said, like, for me, I didn't come across Only first. You know what I'm saying? I came across the community first, believe it or not. So before I even bought a collectible, the first thing I did was find someone that was in Veve. They had hit on like a couple of drops and they were basically trying to sell their stuff, but there was no marketplace. So it was only eBay. So people were just finding each other through Twitter. You know, Telegram wasn't really popping yet. So it was mainly through Twitter. And I found this guy and it was like, all right, do I even trust this guy? I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? And it was, you know, just being in a situation like that, you know, you're spending hundreds of dollars at a clip, you know what I'm saying? You're like, yo, what am I doing here? You know, for a Batman, like I can't even hold the thing. Like, what am I doing? You know, so when it went through, it was just like, wow, like, yo, there's some real honest people actually around. Like, you know, he didn't have to really come through, but he did. And then, you know, that led me to finding other people. And then it just was like, you start seeing these similar stories. You start seeing the stories of somebody who hit on a drop and then listed it for $7. And then someone bought it. And then they actually are trying to find the person and return it to them. You know, I see that happen like 3 times. And I was like, what community am I part of? Like, what is this? Like, what is this, bro? Because I'm a very honest person like that. And most industries you're engaging, you're not gonna find a group of people that's like this. So.
No, not at all. That's awesome. You said that, man.
And I've seen that. I've seen that happen too. So I mean that coming from the physical collecting world, I definitely say that the people from Veve that I've interacted with are, look, everybody has a different experience, but in my experience, they've been a lot more welcoming, a lot more friendly, a lot more down to earth.
Right.
Just real. So, okay. I have a question I want to ask. If you could have Veve create an NFT, what would it be of?
Ooh, like anything randomly.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's pulling out the bangers tonight.
That's it.
Anything. Okay, you know what? I actually have a perfect answer to this. Wow. Okay. Because I have the clips of my VHS, I literally have like videotapes of me playing golf on Channel 6 Action News. If I could get like a video clip footage of me being a 4-year-old as like an animated NFT on Veve.
Exactly. I was about to say, I want the secret rare Johnny Dunn hitting the hole in one right now.
Oh my God, what? How crazy would that be? Like I have the interview and all. Like I kind of just want to show the community because it's kind of wild, man. Like I look back on it and I'm like, I don't remember it all. Like I'm in diapers. Like,
how are you gonna do that though? You have to take it from VHS and then like port it over to digital. How are you gonna do it? Like screen record it with your phone? Like
I don't know. So I mean the crappy choppy way would probably screenshot it from my phone. That's probably how I've done it. There's a way to convert VHS to DVDs. I haven't done that yet. We've always been saying we were going to do it. We should do it before it's like not possible anymore. And then from DVD, I imagine there's a way to like import it into like a computer and like.
I think once it's converted digital, it could go on any medium. So whatever data is to write to DVD, you should be able to.
Yeah, that would be unbelievable. Could you guys imagine that? Oh my God, I'm getting the chills for that one. That would be incredible. That was a crazy question. I did never even imagine that.
You know, I mean, that's where we're going. Imagine when we're all in our virtual places or living rooms, and like right now, I have you know, pictures of my kids, and you know, my wife, and you know. But what about my virtual world, man? Like, you know, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's 100% going to be a possibility one day. Like scan your physical childhood photos or something, and now the same way we have the augmented reality, boom, you got it digitally. That's wow.
They're gonna have stuff where, you know, already they have stuff where you're able to kind of scan your body, and then they can tailor make clothes that fit the contours of your body. You know, they have these services where every month you receive clothes, and so
I saw that on Shark Tank or something like that.
Exactly right. So I could easily see where, you know, your avatar, like right now, I have a friend who, you know, we're in the same rap group, and he does digital comics right now. He's working with the same brand that's on Veve that makes comics on an iteration of Spider-Man. But so he has like all of these pictures of me and stuff. So, you know, we have like our own group comic book coming out, all types of stuff down the road, digital. So he has sent me images of myself rendered in all of these different scenarios, you know, space wars and all types of crazy stuff. So it just had me thinking like, damn, you know, like one day I'm gonna be able to pick which avatar and clothing I want. Then I might just be able to have, you know, something screen record me and whatever I'm doing with my body, you know, it just records it as a loop, you know, a 9-second loop or whatever it is. And that's the animated, you know.
Wow. Yeah, that's going to be crazy. Like you could have, you know, my baseball swing, my golf swing, or whatever the case. You freestyle and stuff like
whatever. You know,
man, we got to develop this technology, bro. We got to get on.
Yeah, for real.
Or an Allen Iverson rookie card. You know, maybe we could do a
pre-braids.
Oh,
wow.
A BGS grade 8, you know, SP, Allen Iverson, you know.
That's some bangers. That's insane. The Babe Ruth blew my mind. And then that one's incredible too.
I figured, I was like, you know what? You're an AI fan. I had to break it out.
I'm a huge AI fan, bro. That is amazing.
That's
one. Like if we get Allen Iverson on Veve, I would. Allen Iverson, Tiger Woods. I mean, MLB, Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, those two guys. Like, even legendary guys. Like if we get Ken Griffey one day, like what? Like
Jerry Rice. You know what I'm saying?
Jerry Rice. Yeah, those NFL legends. Like
that's what I think they're gonna do or should do with the license, because let's face it, you don't have the team logo license. So no matter what player you use, you're gonna have to put them in a position where it's kind of like we're not even paying attention to the fact we can't see the logo.
Right.
You know, kind of like they do on certain baseball cards and stuff.
Right.
But I would think instead of, you know, focusing on a new player, some hot new rookie where you're gonna be looking for everything to be detailed accurate, if you go with a throwback, you know, throwing Barry Sanders or something, he's in a wild looking pose. You're not really like, oh, I can't see the Lions logo. It's like,
right. You care about Barry Sanders.
You care about Barry in that pose. You know what I'm saying? Or if they do like a Heisman trophy, give me a Heisman trophy to stiff arm. You know what I'm saying? I want that in my crib, bro.
A Ricky Williams Heisman. Oh my God.
Man, Veve. Hire me, bro. I know what I'm doing. I know.
Homie. Shout out Dokta Strange, man. Let's go.
Let's go.
Look at the ideas, bro. I'm at the video.
Yeah, man. I like that, man. Legendary, legacy NFL players. Like the Eagles. Like imagine, like I'm a big Philly fan, so I would love to have like a Brian Dawkins.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Give me Macklin, bro. Give me Macklin. Give me some Deshaun Jackson.
Woo. Even Ron Jaworski throwback.
No, I would love that. I would love that. That would be. Oh, give me some Randall Cunningham scrambling.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes,
that would be crazy.
Give me some defensive players, Seth Joyner, bro. East linebackers. Yeah. I hate Philly, but I respect them, bro.
Right. Yeah, let's go.
That's how I feel.
They had some legends, like
definitely, bro. Dr. J, bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Although he belongs to my team officially, the Long Island Nets, not the Brooklyn Nets.
Are you still a Nets fan?
No, I'm not. I'm a Knicks fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, moment of silence, everybody.
Yeah,
There was a silence too. That's hilarious. I like the Knicks with Melo play, man. I'm a big fan of Melo. I don't know how you feel about Melo, but
I love Melo, bro. I'm a huge.
yeah, I'm a big fan of Melo.
Yeah, man. So I mean, okay, so we've kind of speculated on the whole veveverse. Where do you think we're gonna be in 5 years with the whole veveverse?
Okay, so 5 years from now, I think it's going to become a lot more frictionless, a lot more seamless going into that metaverse. Like I don't have the Oculus right now, so I can't tell you exactly, but I feel like how bulky it is and everything, it's still like early cell phone days.
Exactly.
Where like if you told people you're going to wear that Oculus around all day, every day, you would look at them like, no, I'm not going to wear that. Same way, like you're going to carry that brick cell phone around with you with the antenna all day, every day. No, you probably wouldn't. But the cell phone slimmed down, and now they're literally like with this case, like this sleek, and it's in my pocket all day with me. Good or bad, that's another debate, but it is.
Exactly.
Same with, so I imagine maybe not as slim as these, but like one day, I feel like the augmented reality is going to be as slim as this. The virtual reality will eventually slim down, and I think we will be wearing augmented mixed reality glasses like literally almost all day, because like with the Oculus, you can look down and go on your phone, bring up this. And I had these visions back in like 2013. I was over a friend's house saying like, because we had like a big cell phone debate. I was telling them, dude, eventually augmented reality glasses are gonna be so good. You're just gonna look down your phone or your hand and be on your phone. You're not gonna carry around a cell phone.
Exactly.
And people were telling me, my bad. People were telling me like, there's no way, bro. Like I've had a cell phone my whole life. And I was like, no, you didn't. You got a cell phone in 2008. Right. And before that, you didn't have a cell phone. So like technology always changes. But looking back, I was like too early. I was saying this in 2013. Probably won't happen like that until 2023, like until it's seamless. And I didn't even really know augmented reality technology back then. It would just seem like a natural progression to me back then. It makes me realize like I really feel like I have been kind of a pioneer, just ahead of my time almost, to where I feel like I can kind of get a good pulse of where things are going, human behavior.
Same here. Mix it all together, and it just like gives you a wave or something, and it's like you just see it and you feel it, and you just can project out. You know what's gonna come. That's why I told people like a major thing I'm glad I did in taking marketing and advertising was they made us take psychology and human behavior. Once I took those two classes, I just unlocked a matrix, bro. It was like, oh my God, I was able to predict stocks because it's all the same to me now. It's all, I look at humans.
Yes, man. And then Gary Vee is the same way. And that's why he's been so successful. And like you guys have probably been following him too for a while. And I've been following him and he's always been talking about that. And to see him kind of convert all of that knowledge into the NFT space now, it's like, oh my gosh. This is literally just the perfect, like, he understands. He gets on the ground floor and like he followed me. Like he's understanding. He's probably like figuring out what I'm thinking, like trying to just pick my brain to get a pulse of where the community is and where things are going. So like I love that stuff because like you said, psychology. I took a psychology class and it was literally my favorite class in college of all time. It blew my mind, and I was like,
I thought I was gonna hate it.
Yeah, same here, man. But I mean, I guess too, it depends on the teacher who teaches it, because you probably had a great teacher who probably broke it down in the right way. And I did too. And it was amazing, man. Like the human behavior is everything.
I had a question for both of you. I know we're interviewing you, but I still gotta get Joe's opinion on this. What do you guys think about Gary Vee and the record thing? What do you feel about it? Like his IP and all that stuff.
I think that it's good to have another platform for NFTs, but as far as competition, I mean, yeah, technically it's competition, but I don't see it as a real threat to Veve. But I do think that it's not going to be, in my opinion, it's not going to be a little flash in the pan. I do think they're in it to win it, but I don't think they're going to win it. So I respect them. I'm interested. I want to get in on it, but my budget, for lack of a better term, is going to be allocated for the large majority to Veve.
Right. So you got a checking and a savings, and the way the checking is set up, it's not there. You got to pull it from the savings, but the savings is not working right now. No, I'm not talking about it.
How do you feel about it, brother?
Yeah, so you kind of killed it right there, honestly. I do think, you know, there's going to be room in this NFT space for other platforms, I think. Right now with OpenSea, I think there's obviously saturation of so many platforms, so many projects. And, you know, I hope they all last, because I think the more people that come into the NFT space, the more people will find Veve, and that's great. Unfortunately, I just think 95% of this project probably won't last. I think the top projects will. Like, we don't know. Recur could be a project that lasts, you know, the length of time. I think anytime you do have IPs, you have a better chance to have that success long term.
Staying power.
Exactly, because IPs usually won't get onto something unless they trust it enough. So I don't know if it'll ever be as, you know, as successful as Veve is. I don't think it will be. But I think it's almost, I look at this space as like, okay, there's Nike, there's Adidas, there's K-Swiss, there's Reebok, social media, there's like Instagram, there's Twitter, then there was Vine. There's gonna be a lot of Vines in this NFT space. Vine was like a platform that popped up and it didn't last long. Like, so I think Veve is like the Nike. Veve is like that Instagram. And there's gonna be a couple other projects here and there that last. And that's kind of where I see Recur fitting in. I think they had to do something with college basketball, which I think college basketball is huge. I'm personally not into college basketball like March Madness, but I know 99% of the world is. So I think like if it's a platform to where, say, college athletes could get paid on, maybe they come out with your, you know, March Madness finals players. That could be big.
That might happen too. I think you literally might have hit that on the head. I think I came across something talking about that actually.
I just say, because I wish I was still in college, because now college players can get paid. So I was like, wow, of course, right? Like, I feel like I could have used my brand and everything, but I mean, I'm happy though, because that's the way it should have been. But
that's right.
Now, if I would love to have an NFT platform where I could get on. I mean, if my college is in the playoffs, you know, people want the Johnny Dunn picture, or whatever, like that would be amazing. So imagine college athletes. I think that would blow up. If that's the case, they do have college basketball players, and I think it could, you know, it could be. I don't think it's direct competition to Veve. It's just like another little, like, you know.
Right. Check out my new vision. Check out my new vision real quick. Check out my new vision. This is called the hybrid NFT. So it shows it from the back. Johnny's on the mound. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you can see the batter, but it's just far away. You just see Johnny's back, right? He's winding up. He throws a low pitch down the middle. All of a sudden, it flips around, and the batter is holding a golf club, and it's Johnny again, and he's swinging the golf club.
Oh my God!
Boom! And then he hits
it out of the park.
Hits it out the park with the golf club.
Oh, that's literally an amazing loop NFT that will be unbelievable. Oh my gosh. We got to make that happen, bro.
Bro, we gonna get this money, man. Veve, holla at us, man, and get lost in the dust, man.
Oh my God.
That would be fire.
Take over, man.
Wow. And then it goes out of the park, and then you think it's over, and then all of a sudden it goes right into the little golf hole.
Oh, outside the park. I guess a mini golf course somewhere over, you know what I'm saying? Yo, that would be crazy. Hole in one.
Wow, bro. That's bro. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know my brain.
Something I'm gonna create that, and I'm gonna give you mad credit for that, because, bro, that's amazing right there, man.
That's a good NFT. Like that needs to happen.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like I literally want to look at that. Like as a
that would be so unique, bro. That would be crazy.
Wow.
So speaking of, well, by the way, this is open for anybody in the chat. Go ahead, ask away any question you want. We're sitting down with the OG Johnny Dunn. If you're not subscribed to his YouTube channel, it's pinned. The link is right there. Go sub, come back. That's it, man. We getting in it, man. We're going off the rails right now. We're talking about what NFT he's gonna drop. Strange.
You know what? Actually, my
outlined it.
Sorry to interrupt. My favorite physical collectible. I know what it is now.
Okay.
I said it was a top Batman. I forgot I actually had this. The baseball part brought it up. My college baseball jerseys. Ooh. And this is a big deal because we weren't allowed to keep these. And my coach is probably listening right now. But so ready. I treated college like war, man. Like I after my first year when I got cut, it was like a flip of the switch. I was treating practices like games. I'm trying to take people's heads off. And that's what they saw. Like I was literally like going all out. So my jersey, my college baseball jerseys, they mean more to me than my degree I got. No lie, because I put everything into that. So they said after the year, okay, you have to return your jerseys. I was like, return the jerseys. It's like, I am not doing that.
Right.
Like, there's no shot. I'm taking this and my degree with me. Like,
I'll pay you for this jersey, but
literally, I had to. So that we'll get. So this is how it happened. So it came time to turn the jerseys in, and I didn't return mine in. And they said, "Dunn, like, where's your jersey?" And I was like, "I can't find it."
And my dog ate it.
I said, "I can't find them." And they said, "What do you mean you can't find them?" I said, "I can't find them." And they said, "Well, you're gonna need them in order to get graduated." I'm like, "Graduate? What do you mean?" They said they'll put a hold on my graduation until I return the jerseys.
Whoa.
I was like, what? You're going to prevent me from getting my degree because I lost my jerseys?
That sounds crazy to me.
They crazy.
So that's what happened. So they wouldn't let me they wouldn't let me get my degree. So it was a big deal. I went into the Rowan University office and everything. I said, I can't find my jerseys. What are we going to do? They said, you have to pay for them. I said, that's fine. How much? It was like 400 or like 300, almost a little less than $500. I was like, for the one jersey, it was our home jersey.
Are you
So I was
kidding?
like, they're like, you're going to have to pay for it. I'm like, okay. So I live right by the school. I commuted to college. So I drove home. Mind you, I'm a broke college athlete. I didn't have much money. I went and got the money, $400 cash. I gave it to them. I said, here you go. They didn't even think I would do that. I literally did it. And they wrote out like a physical receipt for me and everything. And I kept it. And that was it. And they took off the hold and I had my jersey.
Wow.
I was like, they literally just made me go do that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I would have paid $1,000 for that. But it was just like the principle of it. I was like, they wouldn't let me graduate. I put my whole life into this.
Right.
Give me my jersey. Like,
You know what's funny though? Like I've done stuff with clothes and stuff the last couple of years, even including this. You know what I'm saying? Me and my people made this right here, Strong Island. You know what I mean? But one thing a lot of us, you know, especially at that age, didn't know is that most likely within a 5-mile radius, the company they're ordering the jerseys from is right there. We could go right there.
It's true. You're 100% right. And that's hilarious because I could have done that. And that's exactly the case.
It's like we're not thinking that. And then we're so emotional. We're caught up in the moment. Like, oh, you know, so.
Literally, you killed it. It's the truth. So I found out that is the case. And what happened was they wanted the jerseys back so they could sell the jerseys. They have like a Barnes and Noble and they would, because they switched from Nike to Adidas.
Right.
So they were selling all the old Nike jerseys at the Barnes and Noble. So I was like, you're going to sell my jersey though. I was so pissed. I was like, no way. This is like my, but I could have probably just went to the place, got it like a made Rowan jersey, put my number on it. Would have been the same thing. I was like so emotionally attached to it. I was like, yeah, give me that. Like,
yeah, I bought a new one and give them that one and then keep my old one.
yeah.
So for real. So a question came in on the chat. Musky Dog says,
Doge.
Doge, a favorite Pokemon of all time.
Wow. I actually, all right, this is a great, there's one more Pokemon card that I didn't bring out. Maybe it's upstairs. I just didn't get it, but it's still in the original wrapper, and it's a first edition. It's a Machamp. I don't know if they know that one, but I only like that one. It's my favorite Pokemon just because I have that card and it's a first edition. It's still in the original wrapper. So for me, I feel like that card is like really special. And Machamp just looks amazing. It's like a muscular evolved version. Like, I don't know. I think that's one of my favorites.
Nice.
Other than that, I would say, I think Mewtwo. Because isn't Mewtwo like an alien type Pokemon?
Yeah.
Let me know in the chat. But
I didn't know anything about him. I could pull these out right now, but I didn't know anything about him until I went searching for him in a bunch of Oreo Pokemon packs. So I'm sitting on about 6 packs of Pokemon Oreos right now.
you haven't opened them?
eBay if anybody wants them, you know what I'm saying? They're up there. But yeah, that's who you're chasing, is this Mew character, whatever. And it's a couple other rare ones, but that's the main one you want. Mew.
Okay,
Mew.
Mewtwo, I think, right? I don't
Or,
have it.
I don't.
Have it.
Yeah, it's very rare. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
interesting.
a good one.
So we didn't talk stocks or crypto. Crypto.
Yeah.
Are you into crypto or stocks possibly?
Yeah, so I would love not so much stocks. I mean, I just feel like this. I don't have too much money right now to invest in a whole bunch of other things. I put all my capital into Veve and Omi. I just felt like for me that was the best possible return on investment long term. I would be in a whole bunch of other cryptos though. I really do like. I can list a couple that I like a lot. If I had money, I would definitely be in them right now. Maybe get a little bit, diversify a little bit. But for me, I think diversifying when you don't have much money is not the best strategy, at least for me. I feel like that's a great way to like save your wealth, but like I'm trying to make wealth. So I just put it all in on Veve Omi. There's a lot. I love obviously the top coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, even I like. I love Cardano long term. I think what that's going to do long term is going to be huge for the world. Getting in at $1, whatever, under $2, $3, I think is a steal. I think IMX will be Immutable X. I think that'll be a solid token as well. I mean, that's already on Coinbase. And once people find out like they have the Veve NFTs, I think that's going to shoot up big time.
Right.
I even think, all right, Sandbox. It's another metaverse virtual reality. I think veveverse will be way better.
Yeah.
Because Disney's going to make sure that their IP brands are on the most premium metaverse possible. But I think for the short term, while that's getting built and everything, there's going to be a place like kids are going to be wanting to like play around with the goggles on or the virtual reality stuff in the sandbox. I think that's going to have a decent chance to do well with they have like Roller Coaster Tycoon in there. I imagine just the same way I used to love building parks on the desktop computer, Roller Coaster Tycoon. I would want to probably put on the virtual reality and go and build a theme park in real life type thing. So, and that's only one. They have the Bored Apes, like all the NFT projects in there that people are into. So that probably could do well. But I think for me, I would tend to stick more. Like if I'm going to invest in metaverses, I would put all my chips into Veve's metaverse and just wait until that, you could probably, play the game, put it in here first, try to let that run up, take profits, put it in here. But like, I don't really like trying to play those games too much. It's to me, that's like, I've listed my TOD a couple times to try to like sell for like 8K, buy back at like 5K, kind of like what Gale was talking about. But after watching Gale's video, shout out to Gale, man. I mean, we all he talks about how he regrets kind of letting go of that blue chip because then you don't know when that floor is going to rise. And I almost did what he did. I was so close to, because I have 1,000 mint TODs left. I have 3 of them. And so the floor price is usually a little bit higher, or the price of that is usually a little bit higher than what the floor is. Yeah. So I always think about like, all right, let me let go of this TOD for like 7.5K and then buy back at 5.6. I almost did that when TOD was like at 3K. That's the thing that he did. And I just decided not to do it. And I'm so thankful I did because we didn't know. No one knew that the floor of TOD was just going to skyrocket when it did. And so, I mean, Gale's video really talked about how just don't mess with blue chips. When you have those holy grails, just don't mess with them.
Yeah.
You don't want to know how much I paid for my TOD, man.
Right, exactly. Like, you don't want to know.
Like you don't want to know, bro.
Wait, what? What's that?
I caught TOD during the last massive dip.
You did?
Yeah.
You call him or you sold him, you said?
Got him.
Oh, let's go. That's big time.
I paid $19.45 for my TOD, bro.
Let's go. I mean, those are the opportunities right there where like, did you know that like you got a good deal or you weren't sure if you were going to?
Yeah, I've been on the app since March, so I've seen TOD.
Yeah.
That was one of the pieces that I wanted. It was totally out my range since day one. I've seen it 5K, 3K, all these crazy numbers, But yeah, even going back to what you're saying about with the Gale and stuff, man, even before these 12 days of Veve, I'm counting on my experiences and understanding gem squeezes and how much of a percentage things usually go down. And there was a lot to learn even during the 12 days of Veve to me. Like that gem squeeze was not as intense as most. And I had to analyze why not, you know what I'm saying? And definitely through talking to a couple of people, I think at the end of the day, it's a combination of we have more collectibles on the app today than we had 2 or 3 months ago when we had the last squeeze. So people's investments are spread out across more things. Then you have more users on the app. So even if everyone's in a panic for gems, it's like everyone's trying to sell 1 or 2 things, but it's like all these different things. So it's not like as concentrated. When it's like, if we only have like 8 things that are actually hot, that are sellable, we're all trying to sell the same thing. And then you get that undercutting effect. But when it's so spread out across comics and this, that, you know, not everybody owns like 100 items. So they might only have like 5 items that they like to just constantly flip and rotate. So it just didn't translate to that much of a squeeze. So I had like that Robin, Carmine Infantino. That I bought that the same time I bought the Todd too. Oh, so what it was
that skyrocketed lately.
yeah, I think I had the Spider-Man. I had an ultra rare Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 1. That's what I sold to get into those. You know what I'm saying? Sold it for like 3,000 something or whatever it was at the time. I don't remember. But yeah, man, I kind of did that same thing where I got rid of the Robin. This is before the 12 days of BB, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna just buy back. I want to have a nice amount of gems for all of these drops, this, that, and the third. Okay, cool. And then you were also talking about this earlier. You were like, you gotta have gem discipline, bro. Because when you're sitting on gems, like you said, it's easy to buy stuff. It's so easy. And then you perceive deals. You're like, wait a minute. So this is what I did. I saw a Rain Corno sitting there like for 6 something, like let's say 630. And then the next one was like 680. Then it went 699. So I'm like, yo, let me get this for 630. And
about to run up.
Right. Like I could flip it, and I could even do this before the 12 days start.
Right.
Little did I realize, though, yeah, you can grab stuff for, you know, under the next one listed. But if it's not a hot item and you're talking hundreds of dollars, and there still is a decent amount of the population that's savvy enough to know these drops are coming, let me hold my stuff, you may not get to flip that anytime soon. So I was sitting there with 600 plus gems stuck basically during the whole 12 days of Veve. And then everything was going down. So it was like, and
couldn't even sell it.
Right. And then my goal was to get into Nightwing. That was my goal. So I was like, okay, maybe because of all these 12 days of constant poundage, Nightwing will go down too. Maybe I'll come up on a couple drops, sell something, you know, get my gems up. By the end of it, I have no original Robin. I have no Nightwing right now, and I barely got any gems. I got a lot of Deadpools and a lot of Groots and, you know, stuff that I'm hoping will, you know, 10x or whatever, but the plan didn't work out, you know, and I feel like I have less collectibles than I did then, but I don't. Like I technically have more, but they're just cheaper in value. But my stuff is spread out way more now, and I kind of feel good because like I was talking about with Joe, like the MCP points are definitely, like I was sleeping at first, but I'm realizing how important they're going to be for getting drops.
That's going to be like the only way to get drops almost in the future. And we're going to have some crazy, crazy drops to where, you know, you may get a collectible that's, you know, 20K value just because of those MC points. Like, so we really don't know. And about the Groot and the Deadpool and everything like that, it's just you have these collectibles right now. Everybody's kind of anticipating a whole bunch of stuff dropping. So, I mean, holiday stuff, we don't know how it's going to affect. But I think everything on the Veve app will go up in value. It's not like, you know, a year from now it's going to go down. It's just how quick is each one going to go up and down? That's like the battle. I've gotten stuck with things like that too. Like you said, you see huge gaps in prices and you're like, oh, wow. If I get this one in a couple hours, it could easily just go up. I've done that 100 times. And then new people list stuff and you're like, oh no, it's going back down. And you're like,
going down. Like, oh,
like, dang, this is not working out at all. And then you don't have the gems to get, and it's like, so that's why, you know, it's so tough, man. I mean, that's why people, you know, talking about their mistakes, talking about this, it helps because you realize, okay, not only you're not the only one who makes mistakes, other people make mistakes. It reminds you, you know, things to do, things not to do. Like, I know I should not be messing with Todd. Like, I shouldn't be doing that because at the end of the day, I'm messing with Todd for $1,000, like to make 800 gems. Like, are those gems really worth it in case Todd goes to say 12K and then I don't?
And then it's out of your range altogether.
Yup. And so, oh man, it makes me like, I got chills.
So going along those lines, what is one of the worst purchases on Veve, you know, investment wise, that you did, that you're like, damn, that right there I got burned on that one. And you know what, and also the best.
Okay. Best. I'll start with the best. Because honestly, I've lucked out. I'm so fortunate. I'm gonna knock on wood here. I haven't had too many like, oh no, like I've almost had some really bad mistakes, including the first one where I almost didn't go all in on Veve. I almost stopped at 3 collectibles and that was it. And like that was the second fork in the road I meant to talk about. My first fork in the road moment in my life was I chose baseball over golf at a young age. Like I could feel that was the fork in the road. It was like a shift in the universe. And the next shift in the universe for me was going all in on V. I almost stopped at 3 collectibles. Like I remember talking to my mom after I bought the 3 saying like, all right, mom, there's this new investment that I think we need to double down and go all in on right now. And so like, if I didn't have this talk with my mom, we didn't call the credit card company, like so many things where if we didn't do, I'd have 2 or 3 collectibles right now. And it'd be a whole different story, everything for me. And I'd be sitting here thinking like, oh my God, like I didn't trust myself. Like, so for me, that was one of my best decisions to really just do it, you know? And so I've had some great wins over the time. My next best win was when I had 2 Givenchy's. I got the Walt. I sold a whole bunch of duplicate collectibles. I had to sell my like couple Jokers, Harley Quinns. I was able to get the Walt Disney at 2.6K. But then like I talked about before, I sold the Givenchy at 4, and then I got the Walt before it really ran up. Woke up in the morning, was like, oh my, because I thought I could wake up and Givenchy does that, and Walt's at 3K still. So I was like, I don't know. I think Givenchy will go crazy too. To the point where I've thought about now selling the Walt for like 13K, buying 2 more Givenchy's and then it's like, but I feel like I can't play too many games, you know, like like I'm playing chance and like I win a couple and don't keep.
But it's almost semantics at that point. It's almost semantical. Like, come on, man, we splitting hairs here almost.
Right, exactly. It's like, you know, like you're testing your luck. Like, how many times can you keep winning? You know, you're gonna take a big L if I keep going.
Yeah, man. Yo, for real.
So those are some of my wins. I'll talk about some of my losses now. I sold it. I had 7 Todds. I had 6 or 7 Todds early. I bought for retail.
Holy.
I gotta go.
This is what I mean. Ready? So I'll talk about the quick wins and then kind of how it lost. So 7 Todds I bought retail. 7 FA Jokers I bought retail. 7 Harley Quinns I bought retail. Like 6 Joe M's I bought retail. At this point, I knew Veve. I'm telling people, Veve's going to have hundreds of thousands of users. People are saying, dude, stop buying Todds. They're not going to sell out. There's too many editions. And I'm like, oh my God, no, this is red hot. People don't get it yet. So I'm just hitting buy. Going crazy, dude. Literally going crazy. So throughout the, you know, I knew they were going to be more than $400 or $500, but, you know, trying to build my collection up at the time, like the FA Infantino Robin, I traded, shout out to Todd Fowler, Crypto Khaki. This is like a great trade. We always talk about this because it was a moment in time where we knew the future would work out to where he would win, but we knew in the short term, it would look like I'm the winner. But I needed to finish this set. So I traded him the Todd McFarlane Batman and the FA Joker for the Infantino Robin. I got the Robin, he got the Todd and the FA Joker. And at the time, Todd was like $300. FA Joker was like 150. And the FA Robin was like 750 maybe, or like 700. So FA Robin was like way more expensive than both combined. People were like almost like laughing at him, like, what are you doing? But we knew, like, we talked about it. We are like, you're probably going to win long term on this, but like, I need this set. And so I was kind of trading Todds back then for sets, even though a lot of them were like important sets. It would be worth it now just to hold my 7 Todds, and then I'll go get the sets like now.
Right.
So those are some of my L's that I took, but not crazy L's. Another kind of L I took was I wanted to go, since I depleted all my duplicates almost, like I had like at one point I was buying, once I realized FA and everything, the FA Captain America, I bought 30 of those when they were like less than $20. Like I didn't get in when they're like $4, but like $15 range. I was like, this is my pick right here. Going ham. These have to get over like $50. And if I buy 30 at 15 and they're over $50, boom. But then Walt Disney happened and I was like, oh man, I need to try to get Walt Disney. So I sold off like 20 of those at like $30-$40 range to help get the Walt, along with a whole bunch of other collectibles. But basically I depleted my duplicate bag of like all those. So I was like, all right, what's my next like big duplicate I'm stocking up on. For some reason, I chose the Common Hulk comic book that was like $11, $12 at the time. Like, I'm buying 50 of these. I bought 45 of these. Bad decision. I mean, I spent like $700. I had like 1,500 gems at the time. I was like, boom. And it's probably like $13 floor right now. So it's probably gone up like a couple dollars, maybe. Yeah. And it's not the comic book that's like a great comic book. That's not like, it's not, you know, you're
not a crowd banger.
No. So it's probably going to take a long time for that one to double.
Because you got to minus the fee and all this crap too. So it's like, oh.
It's a bad one to choose. The low end Marvel comic.
Wish you would have hollered at me, man. I know my comics. I'd have guided you the right way. Like, oh,
that was before I knew anything.
Yeah, that was like instead. It was like $9. Get that instead.
That was before I knew anything about comics. I should have talked to you, Sleeping Comics, Riptos and Comics. Like now I'm on my ball with my comic game, but that was one of my worst mistakes. So that's like my giveaway right now. Like anytime I do giveaways, I give away like a Common Hulk.
Well, there you go. I mean, it worked out. And at the end, you know what? It worked out.
Like that's the thing. I looked at it like, okay, maybe not every comic book does well and this one goes down, but at the end of the day, it was $700. I had over 1,000 gems. I mean, it was a big mistake, but it's not like a life-changing mistake, you know? It's like, I got a ton of Hulk comics now. It was an L. Took an L probably, but, you know, can't make every winning decision.
Everything will have its day. It's just how long it's going to take for that day to
take a year or two.
Right. Well, as you mentioned earlier, you know, certain items are going to go up sooner than others, but they're all going to go see their day. They're all going to go up. Right. So, all right. So we've spoken about a bunch of different things, you know, you from being 2 years old, playing golf, college, all of that. We spoke about obviously Veve and whatnot. So a few personal questions, you know, like what is your favorite food that you like to eat?
Ooh, okay. This is a good one. I'll give you the common answer that everybody's going to say, but it is my favorite. I'm starting to get fat right now. My diet's been not good. I've been eating too much of this lately, but definitely some pizza. I like a bit buffalo chicken pizza. It's probably like my go-to favorite. But everybody likes pizza, right? So I got to come up with another one other than that. Another one of my favorites, I mean, this is kind of common too. So maybe I'll come up with a third, like uncommon one that I like. But like, I'm a huge fan of like pasta and Alfredo sauce, like that Italian bunch of carbs. That's why I'm getting fat, because I like the pizza, the chicken Alfredo stuff. But I would say, all right, a third one that's kind of like traditional to my background that we eat, that most people won't eat, are Jamaican patties. Have you ever heard of Jamaican patties?
Of course, yeah.
So it's just like, it's simple. It's just like beef in a little pastry shell. It's nothing crazy.
Dude, I'm still talking about oxtails and curry goat. That's what I'll be naming as my favorites. I told them West Indian. I just said West Indian all together to cover it.
So my dad's actually really upset with my eating habits because I'm actually the pickiest eater in the world, and he loves to cook all that kind of food. And so my mom is picky too. So he hates it because he'll end up cooking all this crazy, awesome food. Like you're talking about curry chicken. I do like curry chicken a lot, but like all types of different food, right? Like he's not a picky eater. He'll whip up all kinds of meals, but he'll end up being the only one who eats it. He'll take it to work and just
bro, see, now I have to come to Jersey for dinner, man. Help.
Yeah, you guys are all invited. You're gonna have to eat some of my pop's cooking, man.
Leave a tray or two, you know what I'm saying? Help him out.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
I'll try and stuff, but like I'm not a big fan of it. Like trying a whole bunch of stuff. I gotta broaden my taste.
Did he make you eat porridge?
What's that?
Did he try to make you eat porridge?
No, he's never tried to make me eat porridge. Nope.
All right. So what about places that you would like to visit?
Ooh, that's a great question right there. So I'm like a warm weather type person. I've been to Florida a few times. In college baseball, we would always take a trip to Florida to play for a week. That's the only time I've ever gotten on a plane. Used to go to like
Florida, Winter Haven.
Yes, Winter Haven. How'd you know that?
My nephew played college baseball, and that's where he would go.
I would have never even remembered that name if you didn't say that. Holy crap. That's probably stayed at the same hotels. Wow, that's crazy. Yep, we would go there. That's crazy. Winter Haven, yep, the whole sports complex.
I'm like an hour away.
Wow, that's awesome. So I would have a time in my life every time. because I mean, I'm from the East Coast, Jersey. It's cold half the year. So when I get to places like Florida and it's the warm like that, it just puts me in a whole different mood. It really does. So, and being on planes, I would never travel on a plane by myself. I can't do it. But like being there with my whole team and everything, I felt way better. I was like, if we go down, we all go down, you know? But love Florida, man. I want to get to Texas just to visit Texas. I have a brother who lives out to Texas. Love to go to Cali too, just to visit. I've never been on the West Coast. So for me, I want to try to get to Cali at least sometime soon, just to visit. I've never even been outside of the country. My whole to Canada. That's a lie. Shout out to Canada. I've been to Canada once. But my whole family, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Jamaica?
I was just about to say my whole family has been to Jamaica except me. They went the last time they went, my mom was pregnant with me. So like I went there. But we'll probably be able to go back at some point, like to the hotels and that kind of part. But where my dad lived in Jamaica, he said we'd never probably be able to go back there because it's not a safe place anymore to where he lived. Things kind of changed, but that's also why they moved to America, because they saw where things kind of were going and where they were living, and they felt like it was just safer for the family eventually just to come to the States. So
all right. So what about like if you were gonna be a superhero, what superhero would you be?
Oh, you guys already know that, man. Batman, come on, man. Batman's my favorite. It's like I feel like Batman resonates with so many people because he's like a person, right? He's just a rich,
right.
He's got everything, came from the family, so like he's just a crime stopper. like he just gets all the bad guys. So, and it, like the way he's like mysterious too at the same time. I feel like I resonate with Batman a lot.
That's what's up. Okay. I ask everybody this. If you were to go in DeLorean, throw on the flux capacitor, and now you got to pick 3 times. You got to go one time before you were born in history. You're going to go visit, experience something, see something, whatever. Then another time during your lifetime, it could be to relive something or to go take advantage of it. I don't know, whatever, like something, you know, and then in the future, you want to go visit 3 times, one before you're born, during, and then after.
This is a good question. All right. So before I was born, I would like to visit like the Civil War days, because I feel like those days were so raw, almost like I can't even imagine. Like, so I went and visited like the battle, like Gettysburg and all that kind of stuff. And that like was such a crazy time for me, because like thinking back how they used to fight in wars back then too, like they would literally like just line up next to each other. And like, I'm like, it just blows my mind, the style and everything, just the way people were back then. Like, when we would look at like the little round top, I don't know if you ever like experienced that kind of stuff, but where they like, we walked like where they would had the battles and everything. And I just like visioning that stuff. I'm like, you literally just walk up next to each other, point blank range.
Yep.
Like, I can't even like, so that kind of ties into like why I love those war movies and everything. Cause it just like blows my mind and I can't believe it. So I would love to go back to those times just to, I mean, maybe not. I would like to, but just as like, I don't know, just this experience.
You'd fly on the wall. You wouldn't be like,
fly on the wall. Perfect. Exactly. Yeah. Fly far really away from everybody. Fly. And then sometime in my life, obviously the golfing experience, but I would like to go back to when I was about 10, 11 years old. And when that's the first fork in the road moment. And instead of choosing baseball, I would choose probably both and try to, because I feel like if I chose golf only, I would have been a Johnny Manziel of baseball, or I mean of golf, and literally just got out of the league. But I feel like if I was to play both baseball and golf, it would have like kept me in that same mindset. And I feel like I could have probably been able to go pro in golf, and then who knows, maybe get, you know, a minor league look and play for a year type thing. And I would love to have been able to just say, no, I'm going all in and playing both and seeing what that would have turned into, basically. But I really think the way it turned out now was how it was supposed to be, because I just wasn't mentally ready yet back then in the early days. So, and then in the future, wow.
In the future.
Whew. Obviously, like, you know, 5-10 years to see what the veveverse is and all that. But like, let's see. That's like a cliche answer right now.
Right.
It's becoming cliche.
I feel like, okay, one thing, in like 20 years from now, I really see driving is like an extinct thing. I think it's almost going to be like, good or bad, it's going to be like every car is self-driving. Everyone's going to be just hopping into like their own little self-driving taxi. And so I'm interested to see, because I read something or watched something on that, and they talked about how there's going to be so many more cars on the road because of that reason. And I started thinking about it. I was like, whoa. I started visiting like in 10, 15, 20 years from now, nobody's going to be driving maybe. And everybody's just going to say, where are you going? Plug it in. And it just takes you there. And everyone's just in like their own automatic vehicle. And so not that I want to get there too soon, but like I would love to just see how that all kind of plays out like 15, 20 years down the road. I guess that's one little tunnel vision aspect that I picked, the cars on the road for some reason, but I was just trying to think like outside a normal answer of like what I would like to see maybe, or just curious maybe in like 15, 20 years how it's going to play out. Because I talk about how, or not talk about, I always watch videos on Elon Musk talking about how, you know, the electric cars right now, the self-driving, it's going to become a thing. But then I watch another thing, how everyone's going to be in the self-driving cars. And I really think that's going to be how the future is.
Super dope. I agree with you. So, all right. So look, everybody in the chat, drop a like. I've got a link to Johnny Dunn's YouTube channel. It's pinned in the live chat. Go ahead, go sub. If for whatever reason you're not subbed already, go sub. Hurry back. We're gonna, probably wrap it up here in a few minutes. And so, all right. So let's see. Talk to us about something embarrassing that's happened to you. That
okay.
Share something embarrassing.
I would say the most embarrassing thing I've probably been through is coming out of the blue and making music. I started when I say I started making music, I was never into music before 2018. Like, this is like, all right. So coming out of high school, I was going to be a phys ed teacher, play baseball in college. That was like 2011, 2012. I graduated in college in 2016, 2017, 2018. 2017, I started teaching a little bit right away after college, but I felt my soul dying. I felt like I'm sitting at recess and I'm watching these kids and I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm teaching, but like, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing way more. Like, I'm hungry, I'm passionate. I don't know like where I'm going to be, but like, I was trying to play golf at this point, maybe get a look at independent baseball league still. I started my business with the Dunn's Fancy Lineups thing I was trying to do. And so I was just passionate. I stopped teaching for really no real thing. I was just going to pick up golf again, try to play somewhere independent baseball and do my Dunn's Fancy Lineups thing and just go all in. Use my degree as like a backup plan. And that's when I found music, because I was doing the Dunn's Fancy Lineups thing, doing podcasts for it, but I was like, this is a lot of work. I was writing notes for it, just try to make it flow. It wasn't really fun to me. I was like, what if I made a song to advertise this instead? So my first song was called Dunn's Fancy Lineups theme song. I saw my mic laying there. I was like, let me try to make a song.
Wow.
Literally just, I never had any music background. I love like hip hop. Like I love like listen to me. I was like, okay, worst case scenario, this is going to be so bad that it just goes viral. And then my business goes viral. I was like, people make fun of me, but my business would be viral. Best case scenario, I mean, I like it and it's a good song. So I was like, I'm going to do this. So I was on YouTube, just found like a beat I liked. Because of the podcast, I figured out like mic and talking to audio and everything. I found out how to like illegally download a YouTube video beat, put it as the background. And I literally just put vocals over the beat and that was it. I didn't know how to add effects or anything. And I put it on SoundCloud. And I was like, let's go. Dunn's Fancy Lineups theme song. And then here's the thing that changed everything. A couple of days goes by. I didn't tell anybody I was doing this, by the way. A couple like days go by. I get a comment on a SoundCloud saying like, where is this song? I can't find it on Apple Music, iTunes. And I was like, what? You can't find it on iTunes? I don't even know how to put this song on iTunes. What do you mean? You want to buy it? It's here free. I was like, oh my God, this is. So I'm Googling, how do I put songs on iTunes? I'm like Googling all this. I found like Russ was talking about a TuneCore, so I'm like, Yup. So I was like, oh my. So TuneCore is just like I said, the online distribution. You can upload a TuneCore, sends to the Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes, all that.
Give me the sauce, man. Don't give them all the sauce.
Right. Gotta save some of that. Not too much free game out there. But so I started learning all that. I'm like digging in. Boom, upload a couple songs to iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify. And now, like the marketer in me, I'm promoting everywhere. Facebook, YouTube. I'm so into this. I forget, like everybody I grew up with, Johnny's making music. Johnny's a rapper now. So like that was the whole connotation. Like, oh, Johnny's lost his mind. He's a rapper now. But me, I'm just trying something out. Like, I'm just trying something here. It's kind of like, I feel like had a chance to work. Maybe I got people asking me to buy it somehow. So I started advertising. I got into it though. I started making more songs about the Dunn's Fancy Lamps thing. It was like fun for me to do. Yeah. I didn't realize like at the time, like everybody's looking at me like, what are you doing? Like I made a song called like about NBA, like fantasy sports, but that led me into loving that whole aspect of it. This is no effects on it, just raw vocals on top of a YouTube beat, uploading it to iTunes. Crazy. And then I started learning, what reverb meant, start learning the littlest, tiniest things. And then I started making music about my life. I started finding like motivation. It was just fun for me to write it down, talk about experiences. I didn't care that, my friends I grew up with were making fun of me because I knew I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing this for me. Like they're just have an opinion because they know me, etc. They never knew me making music, but I had fans who didn't know me vibe with it. And so I was like, okay, I see what's happening here. There's some people out there that rock with my message, that like what I'm doing, but everybody I grew up with me who knew me for who I was thinks I've just lost my mind because I'm a connotation rapper now. It's such a bad connotation. Like if I said I was a musician,
it is. That's why I say I'm a recording artist.
What's that?
That's why I'll say I'm an MC or a recording artist before I say I'm a rapper.
Facts, exactly. Like your perception of people when you say you're a recording artist or you're a musician or you're an MC, it's like, oh, okay. Oh, he's a rapper. It's like
bling bling. Here you go.
Right.
And I'm not from that era, so I'm not bling bling.
Exactly. And so like I always tell people, I'm like, I mean, I sing on like hip hop beats, like about motivational. Like I have a motivational message in my music. It's motivating for me. I know it's going to be motivating for someone else out there. So I just kept doing it and had fun with it. And so that was probably my most embarrassing moment, making YouTube videos. I just did that with my iPhone. And my buddy said, I said, film me, learn how to edit all them together. And that's helped me make like content for Veve, like videos. Like I would have never known how to do any of that stuff if it wasn't for that. And it's led me to make some decent songs. Like in my prime, Pat McAfee's played that on his show. And it's led me just to keep making, like wanting to make more music now. So it's just been a fun hobby, man. It was embarrassing for sure. Like people, actually, I did my first show. I did my first live. I went to a show and everything, perform right before the coronavirus hit. It was like late February 22nd, North Jersey, Elizabethtown. And it's crazy because I actually performed at the same place where Non-Fungibles performed too, like a year before me. Like he was there all the time performing, making music. I was like a year later. And so I went there. I had no idea how it was going to be. Like I've never performed before. I practiced though. Like I felt like I've killed it. And so I went there, had a vision in my head how it was going to go. There was probably like 100 people there too. And it went exactly how I visioned it. People were loving it. And it blew my mind. I came home on a high like I've never been on before.
Exactly.
I stayed up all night, and that's when I made In My Prime. Literally, like when I came home, and it's probably my best song. And it shows me, I was like, whoa, that energy that I captured was the energy of that show. And I was like, whoa, I'm getting chills right now because it brings me back to that moment. Like it was probably the best time of my life. But that was also another embarrassing moment because it wasn't, but I thought it could have been. The embarrassing moment, I guess, would be just making music and my childhood friends laughing at me. Like, but it's all led me to where I am now. So I'm fortunate for it all.
Man, for sure. I mean, it's so funny because when you get started making videos or what have you, and people who are not used to seeing that, they see it, they're kind of like, what?
Right.
What are you doing? So, man, I mean, for sure, man, it's super dope. I love it. But you just you gotta be like whatever about it. Like
Exactly. You gotta have fun with it. You can't care what everybody's gonna think. You can't please everybody.
Nah, man.
And I always say, like, when you have the best intentions and you know you have the best intention, it doesn't matter what people think, because you know at the end of the day, you're doing what you love and you're doing what you think is best, like what's right and what's best. So
Right.
people can take their opinion how they want.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm with you on that. So all right, so a tattoo. I don't know if you have tattoos, but if you were gonna get a tattoo, or if you do have, like, what kind of tattoo would you get?
So I actually don't have any tattoos or piercings, anything like that. I thought about getting a tattoo in high school. There was like a phase, all my buddies were getting tattoos, right? And I was about to, but I was like, I'm not joining the crowd just because everyone else is. They didn't get them in like crazy, stupid locations on their face, but they'd get it like on the shoulder, back, whatever. But I was like, I don't want anything that bad. I wasn't like, oh, I really want this. This means a lot to me. So I never got a tattoo. I wasn't against them. I just never really like had
nothing
that
resonated to where you're like, I want this on my body. I was like that for a long time till I found the right thing.
What was it? What did you find? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, actually, the first one I did my name. All right, so this is when everybody was getting like tramp stamps and tribal tattoos and bands and all of that. So I basically just did my name in like almost a tribal band form, but it's in Arabic. So it's my name in Arabic. And then I did my zodiac on my other. It's like a pretty big piece of my own.
That's cool. So yeah, you found those things that mean a lot to you, and you're like, boom. And that's honestly how I am now. Like, I didn't really think about it until someone brought it up on Twitter. They said I'm getting a Veve tattoo, and I was like, whoa, okay. Actually, I'm not gonna get like Veve on my forehead or anything stupid like that, but I might get, my first ever collectible, like a Batman or something, the Todd McFarlane Batman or something like that, just because it means so much to me. Like, this changed my life. I went from something like no money. I mean, technically I don't have it yet, but like, Veve has built a platform for me. Like, it's just, so I do want to get something related to Veve and Okomi as a tattoo somewhere on my body at some point. That's something I do want to get. I don't know where or what, but I think I want to get like a little something that just means something to me. Like,
yeah,
like,
let's all get the Okomi circle.
Yeah, that would be fire. Like, I would get something like that, like a little something on my shoulder or back.
It's different. Yeah,
because it means a lot to me. Like, people to this day, they don't get it, and I don't know if they'll ever get it. They probably will eventually, but like once everybody's on it,
it's too late.
Once their kids are saying, "Can I download Veve?" Like, they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh!" But it's changed my life. It's gonna change so many other people's lives. Yeah, that's something I want to get.
For sure. All right, well, chat. You know what? We're almost done here. Drop a like, subscribe to Johnny Dunn's YouTube channel if you haven't already for whatever reason. It is pinned in the live chat. Right there is pinned. So, all right. So I've got one more question. All right. And it's going to be, what is something, I mean, look, we've been talking for a while now. We've got to know you as a person. I definitely feel that, at least for me, I'm like, yo, I know I have a good idea of who you are and what you're about now,
Right.
So super dope, down to earth cat. Like, it seems like everybody that I talk to here, that's from the Veve fam, for real. So, all right. So the question is, what is something that we would be surprised about? Knowing that, something that we haven't spoken about, obviously, but that'll surprise us, something about you.
Ooh,
know you got the baseball skills, we know Veve, all that.
So I would say I kind of answered it with the first question. My dad and my grandparents were from Jamaica. That kind of blows people's mind. They're like, what? They don't believe it. That always surprises people. I would say, let's see here. Some things that surprise me or that surprise everybody else. I mean, I got my degree in health and physical education to be like a gym teacher. I mean, that's not too surprising, I guess. Let's see here. I feel like I was pretty much an open book.
You.
I'm trying to think. There's got to be something though that like it would surprise a lot of people. I would say, okay, for how I am today, I was a completely different mental side in high school. Like how I talked about, I never really worked hard in high school. I was like your partier. I was like a wild kid back in high school. And that's why I feel like I can, like, I almost took a head coaching baseball job at a middle school. And when I went for the interview, I told him my background. I told him, I was a wild partier type kid in high school, and it took that college experience to get cut. It's like a Michael Jordan story. You go to college, play baseball after just being the man in your town, and you get cut. You just got punched in the face for your first time. You're like, what are you gonna do? You gonna quit, or are you gonna come back and be the fucking man? Like, right. So that's how I treated it. And so in high school, I feel like people would be surprised of how I was because they know me now. I was a completely different kid in high school. Like, that's one thing that I almost regret, because I feel like if I was who I was today with the work ethic, how I am, driven, tunnel vision back in high school, I feel like I could easily have went to a Division I baseball program. And before that, I probably would have went pro in golf. But I was just that kid who just relied on my talent. I came from a small town. I had like 100 kids. I really have 100 kids in my senior class.
Wow.
Yeah, I kept thinking maybe 1,000. I had just over 100 kids in my senior class. That's unbelievably small.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild.
That is wild.
Oh my gosh, it's just hitting me now how crazy small that is.
Yeah, that's just unheard of, bro.
That's crazy.
I don't even. I feel like what I'm saying is not even right.
During lunch,
I knew everybody in my school. Like, if there was a new kid, like, they stuck out like a wild duck. Like, it's unbelievable. I can't believe it. Like, growing up, I always thought, like, I would tell people, but like, I was so familiar with it. Didn't seem like a big deal. Like, the town next to me, they had like 2,000 kids in their senior grade. Washington Township's a huge school. So like now, like, just growing up, thinking back, it's incredibly small. So I was always like the man of a small town, going to a college, relying on my talent. You got smacked in your face, buddy. Like, so I feel like those high school days that people would be surprised at who I was, but it all made me who I am today. So I feel like I'm thankful for those days too.
It's crazy. I'm just going to mention one thing is when Strange was interviewing me, and I don't recall exactly the question, but I remember I replied with, I feel like I've lived different lives. It's like, I was this person during this time. I was this
chapters.
Person. Yes, chapters. You know, and until you really think about it, it's just like, wait a minute. Yeah, man.
So right, like, we're all writing our own books right now. Like, this is just the next chapter in our story. And that's the way my whole life was like that. I've always been someone who's wanted to write my own book, because I feel like the same way Russ did it, like, it's all in your mind. He made a book, and it's just a mentality. Like, each chapter was a different song title, and it's all just a motivational mindset book. And so I've always wanted to write a book, because I feel like each lesson learned in my life is just a different chapter. And people have, like what I was going to say about the college baseball job was that I told that story because I told that coach that, and he was like, oh my gosh, I love your story. You would be perfect to tell our high school kids. Because I'm that type of person to say, like, don't goof off and party in high school now. I mean, anybody can do that. That's not hard to do. Exactly. Put the work in now.
Right.
Put the work in now. Go to that D1 college, be that top athlete, and now you're the man. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing right now, partying away. Like, so I could be that guy. And that's what this head coach saw. I was about to take a job at this high school. Like, right after I turned down a college career teaching, or not college career, teaching career, and a high school baseball job right away, just because I was that passionate. I got the job. And then I had to tell the guy, I was like, you know what? I appreciate you so much for offering me the job. And I'm just not ready to take the job just yet, because I'm too hungry in myself. I'm trying to go pro myself, and I'm not going to be able to give 100% of myself to these kids. And so he was like, dude, I appreciate you for everything, even your honesty right now. I want you to keep subbing around our school, just for when you do feel like the time is right, you're always going to be able to come and coach. And I was like, thank you. And so I never went back and coached yet, but it's something I will eventually do, just because I love their program. But I wasn't ready to give myself to these kids, because being a coach, you're putting in all your time, all your effort, and not getting paid much at all.
Right.
So, like, I wasn't ready to sacrifice that in my life yet. I was still trying to play ball myself. So, like, even to this day, I really am still. But all my focus is on golf right now. But so, like, coaching and teaching is something that I'm going to do later in life, I feel like, to talk about all my experiences. Like, I almost gave up. I almost did this, but I just kept going, and you can do the same. And that's the type of teacher I want to be. And so I felt like a hypocrite teaching because that's kind of what I was saying, but I gave up. I was like stopping all this stuff. The kids were like, well, why aren't you still playing? And I'm like, oh, you know, you like, I got to really do this, you know? So I didn't want to be that teacher to be like, you know, don't give up, you know, but like I gave up. So like, I got to go do these things to really be about my word, you know?
Right. Yo, man, it's crazy, you know? By the way, Miss Squad in the chat, damn, bro, that's less people than the line at the DMV, bro. Bro,
so true.
I read that.
That's
I
what
started laughing while you were talking. I'm sorry.
blowing my mind. He's so right. Like when I start realizing, when I just said that 100 people in my senior class, that's unbelievable. I kept thinking to myself, am I mistaken? Is that not 1,000? I've been saying 100 people in my class since I was growing up. So we knew it was small, but now it's really hitting me like, holy cow, my town's tiny, but that high school is so small. Like
That's funny, man.
wow.
Well, you know what, Johnny Dunn, I really
great
do
time,
appreciate you, man, sitting down with us, chopping it up, opening up, and getting to, you know, us getting to know you. And the thing is, obviously we see you on YouTube, but it's one thing to see you on YouTube and another to be like, all right, so where's your family from?
Right.
You know, like who are you as a person? You know what I mean? So I think that is what interests me, because I want to know, you know, and I figure, you know, other people would want to know. So I really do appreciate you opening up and sitting down, taking out the time, because I know time is difficult to set aside, you know, and coming out and so that way we could go and ask these questions. So dude, I appreciate what you did for us tonight. So Strange, you got anything?
Hey man, it's been a blast. Like I told you it would be. I just knew it, man. I knew it. I appreciate you coming through. Man, I look forward to everything that, you know, will come with the future for us, you know what I'm saying, as individuals and all together as a community and all those good things, man. So yeah, man, hopefully we can collaborate on different levels, you know what I'm saying, moving forward. And man, I think like everybody we've interviewed, it's just like, man, we are like a powerhouse of content creators. We all got our different lanes, but yet we're all able to mesh together like Voltron. It's like amazing, man.
Blessing, bro. Like you just killed it right there, man. And I appreciate you guys for having me on because it was a blast. Like you said, we knew it was going to be a great time, and it was such a fun interview. Both of you asked amazing questions too. Like I thought I was prepared a little bit for some questions that you may have asked, but you know, you really got in your bag and asked some great questions. So awesome to talk about. And like you just said, the thing that's so different and amazing about this whole community, everything is everybody's got their own little niche and their own little lane. And for the most part, we're not stepping on everybody's toes. You know, everybody's got their own little niche and we're all supporting each other. And that's one thing I really want to try to push. Like when I found this early on, I was trying to my best to create that positivity, you know, support people. I find new YouTubers all the time, retweet them, post them out there, motivate people to start making YouTube. Like that, it's almost like building. It comes from baseball. It comes from a college baseball program. Like I had a coach that really was able to instill into us like competition, but we're not competing against each other. We have the same goal. Like we're push
each other and keep each other sharp.
Yes, exactly, man. And like I always talk about how the coach got us to believe in him so much, the same way David and Dan have, to where like it's not blind faith to where like, you know, don't like, because I've talked about this, like our coach in college, it was like, you know, I trust him. If he says run through a brick wall, I'm not asking, I'm going. It's going to win us the game. And so like when I said that related to Veve, people are like, oh, just blindly trust an investment. It's like, no, okay, do all of your research. You have to do all
the work's been put in and something. The general's telling you this is the direction to go. So
exactly, literally. So like you find Veve first time, no, don't blindly face that, trust them. But once you do your months and months of research of David, Dan, Al Khan, now the new people, we got Trevor, Reese, Alex, like, okay, this is a dream team. So all my faith is in them. If they told me to run through a brick wall, I'm running through a brick wall. I know it's the best for what's going to happen. So it's like, it's the same thing with the whole community, like the whole team aspect. Right. I'm trying to support everybody. It all blows up. So there's so much relatability with the college program that I went through into this. That's why I would say I didn't find Veve. Veve found me. Like, it was a universal attraction. Like,
average, like
it was crazy, man. We're all here together for a reason, you know. Like,
yeah, man. I
appreciate you guys for having me on, man. It was a blast. Like, I had so much fun, man.
Man, I'm glad you had fun, man. I mean, it was super fun. It was super fun. You know, a lot of the getting to know you, the details and stuff. It was super dope just getting to know you. So thank you. I'm glad you had fun. We keep it laid back. We're
definitely
chill. And again, I'm sorry I kept you, but it was just flowing. It was
yeah, absolutely. Talking about aliens, talking about everything.
Yo, aliens, bro. You know it got crazy. We talking about aliens.
Not a Johnny Dunn interview if you don't mention aliens. Like, come on.
I was gonna say, it's not a big collectibles interview if you don't.
Yeah, I didn't realize. Like, that's the thing. You gotta show me some things, man. You gotta show me what you see.
We gotta definitely talk.
We'll chop it up. Yeah, for sure.
We'll chop it up. We'll chop it up. You know what? And the thing is, when I end the stream, we get all cut off. Like, it ends the whole thing. There's no way. Is there? Wait, hold on. Let me see.
Like, no backstage.
No, I just found it. I'm not.
Let's go.
I just found it. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the live, and then we're gonna stay on for a couple of minutes.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So everybody,
guys.
Yes. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Johnny Dunn. Again, one last thing. Link is pinned in the live chat. Now, when this gets uploaded and it's official, on YouTube, I'm going to put it in the description. I have a list of a link to everybody who I've interviewed. I have a link to everybody's YouTube. So Johnny Dunn will be there on the list. You can find them there. So, all right, everybody. Thank you. And once again, thank you, Johnny Dunn. Appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all. See y'all.